I'm sure he waits for us.
I think so too. Hello and welcome to this week's See You Next Thursday. Today we have Ed25, our very own Sport Billy, a legend in his own lunchtime. And I was going to say joining us later will be Ed75, Seamus O'Deep's the luckender. But he bloody joined just as I've spent the day, just as we got ready to go. He's joined, so we've actually got him early for once. He's actually on time. Well, as close as he gets to being on time anyway, eh, Seamus?
Hello, everyone. I was on time. You guys were just trying to make me look bad in front of all our millions of viewers, listeners.
All our viewers, yeah, because there's so many of them.
You'd run out of fingers.
I won't go that far. I don't think there's that many. Not unless I lose a few fingers, anyway. Get a few cut off, and maybe we'd have. I wouldn't need them. I'd have too many viewers, like 9. In fact, right now it'd be 10 fingers I'd have cut off to not happen. Anyway, so today I just thought we'd preview this season. You all right with that, Seamus?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, that's a shame then. We can. If you're okay with it, it seems like it's a bad idea now. Quickly, should we just run through the transfers then first?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Ismail Assar joined Crystal Palace from Marseille. Do you remember him? Ex-Watford player?
Yeah, he was at Watford, wasn't he? He done all right at Watford, I thought. Thought he was a good player. But when he moved to Marseille, I haven't heard much about him, to be honest with you.
I think he just stagnated from what he was at 21, 22 years of age.
Do you think?
No, I don't think he's taken the leap that many, including myself, I thought he would.
See,
because he was once touted as being Mane replacement or a Sancho fallback option for United, but his career seems to have just tapered off.
Yeah, I'm not. I've always thought of him as a bit flatters to deceive.
No, but at 21, when you see players like that, you hope they can improve their end product and just become more efficient. And it's just never really improved. It seems to me.
No, he's not improved at all. I don't think he's. I think if anything, he's regressed.
Possibly. Yeah. Let's see how he does it. Palace now.
Yeah.
I suppose he's the replacement for Olise.
Yeah, I'd assume so. That's where he plays, isn't it? Wide areas.
What did you pay for him, Trish? Do you know?
Oh, off the top of my head, no. I never wrote down the price. I never bother recording the price because it.
For Sarr.
Yeah,
I think it's around 15 odd million.
Yeah, it wasn't much. Wasn't like a huge.
Right, okay.
So. Next one, Emile Smith-Rowe, Arsenal to Fulham. I think that's a decent signing for Fulham.
Oh, hugely overpriced, I would say. Oh, yeah, massive overpayment.
I don't know the price, but I'm thinking he's an improvement on some of the players. You've got to remember he's replacing what's his name? Dickodova Reed, who is absolute dogma.
Awful, yeah.
So he's a big step up for them. He's not a bad player, I think. He just wasn't good enough for
Arsenal.
Yeah, at the top level. He's not a top rank midfielder, but he works hard.
But he's injury prone. That's his issue mainly.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He's never got a chance.
I actually like him, I'll be honest with you. I think he's got lots of potential. And I was surprised that they let him go. I know they got 40 odd million for him, I think. But it was 34 or 44 million, whatever it was.
I think it's a package that could rise up to 40.
Oof,
right, okay.
That's overpayment.
Yeah, it is overpayment, I agree with that. But I think he's got something about him, I like him. I think he's got a very good brain, and he's only young. I think he could really improve. And I think that's a good signing for Fulham. I really do.
No,
Yeah.
but I think it's a massive overpayment, especially since they've Fulham have then made a bid for you, Scott McTominay. McTominay has played more football than Smith Rowe. End of.
Yeah.
You have
but
to
it's not-
have
He's not as
reliability
good a
with
player.
fitness as well.
Yeah.
No, but it's also about fitness. If,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
He's
if you
bound to play.
if you can't be relied upon to start 30 games as a start signing, then you're of no use.
No, he's bound to play more games than what McTominay did. Less games. Because he was at Arsenal, who were a very good side. And
Exactly.
McTominay played for Man United. So
But he's
he's bound to get a game. What are you saying?
But he was missing
Smith-
games. He wasn't
no.
missing games through injury though. Most of the time, he was
No,
missing games because he wasn't fit.
no. Go back and look. Smith Rowe's biggest issue all the time has been injury. He picks up constant niggly injuries, gets out of team, and then
All right.
slowly players have taken his spot. And
Yeah, but
that's how he lost
if
his
he'd,
place
have
at
been
Arsenal.
if he'd have been at a team like Man United, they wouldn't have had a replacement for him, so he'd have had to have played through niggles. That's what I would say. Is if he'd been at a team like Fulham as well, he wouldn't have been able to be replaced. He wouldn't have the rest for those little niggles, so he would have had to have played. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm saying it's a crucial season for him because he's made a move to a lesser club, lesser side. Now he has to prove his fitness and his.
Yeah, he's good option, yeah. But I think he's an easy player for Arsenal to drop as well. Being young and having good strength in the middle there, I think he was easy to drop for Arteta. He didn't seem like a moaner. He didn't seem like a player who would get affected by losing his place. And I think it was an easy option for Arteta to get rid of him, to be honest with you.
Well, he doesn't like to keep the kids. Despite the fact he buys a lot of youngish players, he doesn't like to really play. You know what I mean? He gets rid of them, doesn't he? Like players like
He sticks with
Anyone
the stalwarts. Yeah,
yeah, any players coming through from the youth, he doesn't tend to really like to break, to develop them, does he? Like
Yeah,
Balogun
I forgot the exact number, so it might be a little off. But didn't I say to his stat
Yeah.
it was only 2 players under the age of 21 that played any decent minutes at Arsenal last season.
Something like that, yeah. He doesn't like them. Yeah, he doesn't want to develop players. He wants players that are ready-made.
yeah.
But Brendan Rodgers like in that respect. So, yeah,
Yeah, but then he will just point to Bukayo Saka and say, "I developed him." To Martinelli, I developed him. To Saliba, I developed him. Let's
Saliba,
not
who sat out on loan for 2
No,
years.
no,
He wouldn't give him a chance. And Saka
but
was already a fixture in the first team when he took over. So,
No, but I'm still saying he's developed players for 2021, built them in and then forgot that there can be next batch of players as well. But yeah, let's move on from this.
yeah, okay. Yeah, Louis Barry left. He's gone on Stockport County on loan from Villa. Wasn't so long ago. They saw him as their great hope. He's fallen
Wasn't
a
so
way.
long ago he was at Barcelona, mate.
Yeah, exactly. And they signed him, and he was their great hope for the future. And now he's going to League One, I think. Stockport are on loan.
Yeah.
He seems to have been dropping down the divisions rather than going up them now. Because I'm sure he was on loan at the Championship team a few years, just recently, Wasted talent by the looks of it, sadly.
Maybe he just got the big move too soon. And now he's 21. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought he would be 17, 18.
No, he's 21. That's what I'm saying. He's starting to. He's starting to lose his edge, dropping down the league rather than.
Yeah, taking a chance with younger players, though, aren't you? Because they develop at different times. Some get growing pains, some just the lifestyle doesn't suit them. And, it is a gamble taking a 17, 18, 19-year-old and boosting them up that they're going to be this, that. Things happen, and it doesn't always work out for them,
You get a lot of them. They as their kids, they get these big contracts, and I personally think it's the worst thing you can do is buy a kid. Wait until they've played a few years and developed a bit. Let them stay at the club.
Yeah.
Develop them, buy them, because when you buy them, 99.9% of them fail because they've had the big move too early. They're not ready. There's very you get the odd Harvey Elliott who makes a deal, but that's because he's moving to the club he supports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he hasn't made it until he's, he wants to get. He hasn't broken into the team, so he's still got something to aim at. When you're buying them and you're not it's not the team they support. They're just not going to make it because they've done what they wanted. They've got the big move. They've got the money in their pocket. What more do they need to do? They think they've made it half the time. It's just not going to happen.
Well, after Lee Dixon said, I was listening to an interview with Lee Dixon a couple of years ago about when he was going back to Arsenal after he'd finished, and he'd walked through to the changing rooms, and he said there was kids there, 17, 18, all on fantastic money, and he didn't even bat an eyelid to him. He's supposed to be one of the greats, and he was saying how different it was to when he was young, and there was the boot room thing. He didn't have to clean boots and all, but there was respect you had to show to players who have been at the club and done well, and there was a mentality that you had to say good morning to them. You had to wear a blazer, and he said when I walked in, they all had earphones on. None of them batted an eyelid to me when I walked in. He said these are all kids on fantastic money at 17, 18 years of age, money that you couldn't even be a concept when he was younger. And he said he just fell out of love with the game for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to show respect. You know what I mean?
I think you have, yeah, very much so.
But it's something that's going out of the world full stop, to be fair. It's not just football.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust couldn't agree with you more.
Next one is Malcolm Mabui. Crystal Palace to Oxford United on loan. No idea about him, so I don't know if either of you two do, but if not, we'll move on. Jan Couto gone to Borussia Dortmund from Manchester City on loan with obligation to buy. To another. Didn't last long, did he?
Who?
Jan Couto didn't last long at Man City. Just didn't really didn't even play, did he, for them?
No, I don't think he actually played any.
No.
Was he at Girona last season?
Yes, I think he was at Girona last season. There's a huge turnover at Manchester, at Pep Guardiola's teams of players. I really, really, really want to see what he could do without the money. See whether he can coach and improve a team rather than just...
There's a lot of teams do it now, though, isn't there? Like Chelsea and that. Of all these youngsters, they never seem to get a chance, and then they get rid of them. It just doesn't seem right to me.
Oh, really? Chelsea is a whole totally different story.
Yeah, I think Chelsea's got some madness, that is.
They have about 45 players on the books for senior team.
Yeah. 44. I think it's 44 to be precise.
No, it's 45. No, it's 45.
Oh yeah, because they just signed one today, didn't they?
The number keeps on increasing.
Yeah, they just signed. I'm trying to find him now. Aaron Anselmo from Boca Juniors, the defender. Teenager, of course, because they only sign teenagers. And then they just vanished. Though they did send Alfie Gilchrist out to Sheffield United on loan. So it is gone. So it is one out, one in defenders. But still, I mean, how many bloody teenagers do you need?
I don't think it does any favours for them, no, Tris. It just seems like it's a numbers game rather than anything else. I don't think they do them any favours. They don't get played. They don't get. I don't know how the coaching part goes, but you don't see half of them ever again. You know what I mean? They buy these youngsters, and I think it's a bit unfair. There should be a cap of the age of players you can actually sign, and it should be around 20 for me. Like.
Well, I just don't understand. Well, you know, they think they seem to have forgotten that they think that the idea of running a football club is to, you know, is the business. It's a business, yeah, I understand that. People say, yeah, but you know, they're running it as a business to make money, but it's a business. It's a sports business, and the idea of a sports business is to win trophies, not to make money. To make money comes from winning trophies. You make money if you win trophies anyway. So you don't need to, you don't need to run it as a. If you run it properly as a football team, they do a lot better financially without needing to buy and sell all these players out, and they can probably keep hold of some of their, some of these youth academy players that they're just selling to make money. It's awful.
Yeah.
Really is a mess what they are. Absolute mess. I just can't understand how they can be buying another kid. I mean, what do they need another teenager for? Why not just develop, Gilchrist or something, rather than buying another 19-year-old in? It just makes.
And the thing is, they lack experience. A lot of the issues with them stems from the fact that there isn't enough experience as a team. The defense crumbled when Thiago Silva wasn't playing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't much better with him in because he was struggling. You know, his legs were clearly gone, so they needed to replace him, and they haven't done. And they're
It's a weird case, but let's move on.
Yeah, I'm not complaining because it'll be good if they struggle again. I'd enjoy that. I just can't see how they're going to do. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Anyway, Crescencio Summerville's joined West Ham from Leeds. About the only player under the age of 30 they've been signing this summer as well. What's going on? They get rid of Moyes, who likes his, likes his old men, and then all they've been doing is signing old men.
Philosophy at the club.
It's really bizarre.
I like him. I like Somerville actually. I think he's a bit of a one-trick pony. Don't get me wrong,
Very much.
but he does cause havoc in defences when he's unsung. It isn't all the time, but when he can be a really good player at times. I just don't think he gives it yet enough. You know, I like him. He's a very talented lad. I've seen him at Leeds quite a bit, and I do like him, but he's got to give more if he steps up into the Premiership teams. He's got to give more.
Yeah, definitely.
I would just like to mention that West Ham did sign an 18-year-old Brazilian attacker.
Yeah, I was just saying in this week's lot, they've only signed older players apart from this lad. Where was I? Yeah, you're talking about Guido Rodriguez.
No, you're talking about Guido Rodriguez. I'm saying they signed Luis Guilherme, the 18-year-old guy.
Oh yeah, that was last week though, wasn't it? No, I was talking about Crescencio Summerville and Nicholas Füllkrug, who they signed from Borussia Dortmund, who's 31. I actually like Füllkrug though. I think he's very much a Premier League player, old school. But he's 31, and they needed to reduce the age of their team.
And especially they needed a replacement for Michail Antonio. They needed one for quite some time. So let's see how he fares.
I think Füllkrug would do well for them, but I just think they need to be looking at a few younger players as well, because they need to they've got a tiny little squad, so they need some younger legs to keep to do the running really. Anyway, yeah, George Consequenza, Villarreal to Fulham. They've signed him as well. Don't know much about him. Can't remember.
Jorge Cuenca.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to pronounce it properly, mate. My parents will kill me if they hear it, but because you can't, you say Cuenca or because it depends on which area of Spain you're in as well, how they pronounce it. Because some pronounce the C differently from others, you know. So it's very confusing. They like where my mum and dad were, they spoke Andalusian and they would pronounce it completely different from someone from Barcelona region. Or the Basque region.
Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 'cause they say Cuenca if it was Barcelona.
I'm obviously the expert, so.
Okay.
Yeah, good, yeah.
Yeah. Luke Harris, Fulham to Birmingham City on loan, just a kid. So. Charlie Goods left Brentford to go to Stevenage. Don't know much about him. I thought I'd mention this one because it's a big transfer rather than because it's Premier League. Jaume Neves left Benfica to join Paris Saint-Germain. And going the other way on loan is Renato Sanchez as part of the deal. He's just sticking out. I can't believe that guy is still only 27, Sanchez. Still shit, but he's still only 27.
Yeah, but I think it's a stark reminder for Neves and everyone. Just because you were a highly rated kid at Benfica doesn't mean you're gonna turn out to be world class like a lot of their exports.
How on earth was he so highly rated?
I don't know, but he's a former Golden Boy Award winner. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How? Because every time I've watched him, even before he made his big move, I've never seen anything in him. I don't understand it. I don't know what I'm missing. I'd love to know. Because he's
at 18, 19, he had the physicality of a fully grown professional guy. So
yeah, but he couldn't.
He looked good, but he didn't look like one of the best players, like future great good. So I don't know how that Golden Boy Award went there, but then again, Matthias de Ligt also won, and his strategy just deceived.
But Sanchez was linked with a lot of big sides at one time, and headless chicken for me, I must admit. But yeah, he was linked with some really big sides. I think Liverpool were interested at once. Well, I don't know how true it was, but they were linked to him. I don't know how true the links were, but a lot of big sides were looking at Renato Sanchez. And for me,
PSG, they're two big clubs.
Yeah. I'm saying he's never really seemed to me to be an outstanding player. You know?
No,
but maybe that's just me.
Nothing about him, as far as I can see. I really do not understand it. It's one of those where it just beggars belief, and you just don't understand it. Like Seamus says, though, Matthias de Ligt is another one of those. I mean, they've said people are going on about how the Bayern fans have got a petition together to keep him, you know, because they don't want him to be sold. But that's not because he's any good. That's because otherwise they're stuck with that other, that useless French defender whose name completely
Upamecano.
Yeah, Upamecano can't be better sticking to Meccano. Because he's a shite defender. Oh my god, he's lost his way completely. He's awful. Yeah. So.
Upamecano is another of those guys who's not improved from the time they were 19.
Exactly. Just all pure physicality and no ability. No mentality, no technique. Yeah, that's his problem. Anyway, yeah, sorry, we should... Mohamedou Sissoko, I think that's how it's pronounced, has left Man City to Peterborough United on loan. No idea.
Never heard of him.
Matt Ritchie has left Newcastle United to go back to Portsmouth.
Good hard working pro, that lad.
Yeah.
I like him, you know. Yeah, but you'd always see him doing 100% on the pitch. That's what I like about Matt Ritchie. And I think he's done well wherever he's been. He's another one who, on the bench a lot, never seemed to moan a lot. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, he's getting good wages for sitting on the bench. But, a good honest pro for me. And I like players like that, I'll be honest.
Yeah, and he quite good technique in that. He just injuries affected him badly.
Yeah,
He kept
he
getting
scored goals, so didn't he? He did score goals.
and also it didn't help him that he wasn't quite good enough as a winger or as a fullback to actually cement a position long term. You know, he didn't quite have the skill. You know, he didn't have the skill to be a winger, and he didn't have the intelligence and positional sense for a good full, to be a top class fullback. So he's never quite, you can never quite see where he fitted in at the top level. Fortunately for the lad, still, he's he's 34, so he's made a good career out of it anyway. All them years at Newcastle, like. Harry Souttar's left Leicester City to go to Sheffield United on loan. How ridiculous buy he was. He's a shit defender. He had a good few games in a World Cup. Well, for us to, it's like slower game, doesn't work. Awful player though. He's just a big lump. Luke Chambers gone to Wigan Athletic on loan from Liverpool. He needs to have a good season there, but I don't see him making it at Liverpool. I've got to be honest. I'd like to see him do it, but I just don't think he's quite good enough. Can't see it. Certain players you watch and you think they've got a chance. There's other players you watch like Bradley. You watch him in the youth team, you just think, yeah, he's got to walk it. And then when he went on loan to Bolton, you watch him there, and you watched him there, and you just think, this lad just walks in. This lad can walk into pretty much any team in the world. He's too good for this level. You know what I mean? He was so far above League One that you just thought he's wasted there. That was a waste. That was a season he could have been playing at Championship level, and he just strolled that as well. But yeah, but Luke Chambers, he's never quite shown. I don't know whether it's just nerves or what, but he's never looked good enough. So maybe the loan will change that. But yeah, I just can't see him doing anything but moving on. Callum Doyle's left Man City to go to Norwich City on loan. It's about his fifth loan, isn't it, or something? Him.
Not sure, mate.
Josh Feeney, Aston Villa to Shrewsbury Town on loan, and also leaving Villa on loan. Considering they just paid a big fee to Everton for him, talk about dodgy dealing. Lewis Dobbins gone to West Bromwich.
Yeah.
That was, that deal was one of the best ever. The whole set of those PSR dodgy ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they said at the time, didn't they? Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I was surprised because we got Tim Thingy. No one still knows his name, but
yeah.
Yeah. But he's done well in the pre-season friendlies, to be honest with you, and he's done okay. But yeah, I think he's got a chance, but Dobbin going the other way was a bit, and then going straight out to, of course it was all about the money, nothing to do with the player. But I think we've got the best part of the deal, to be fair.
Well, you got your PSR paid up as well, so do that. So it was very weird. That was though. You were waiting to see what's going to happen. Where they're going to get their money back from on that one, because it's clearly there's something else to come from that. They can't be all it is, because otherwise you've ripped them off. They should be They should be reporting you to trading standards if that's the deals. Aleo Valles has left Tottenham Hotspur to join Espanyol on loan. I don't know him at all, to be honest. Thomas Galvez has left Manchester City to go to Lask on loan. Again, don't know him. Tim Ream has left Fulham to go to Charlotte of the MLS. He's pretty much retired. But in other words, he wasn't a very good player anyway. I don't know how he stayed there so long. I'm going to be honest. I only had to mention this player because I just thought it was clear. It was just a really odd one. Player left, joined Burnley from Saint Etienne this week is Etienne Green. Saint Etienne obviously playing green, and his name's Etienne Green. And I just thought, you just wonder, when he was a kid, do you think his parents must have supported Saint Etienne living in the, you know what I mean? And named him Etienne, that's the team. His surname's Green, obviously. So it's quite fitting he played at St Etienne, a bit like Arsene Wenger managing Arsenal, just fitted. It seems a shame for him to move, and to Bailey as well. Alex Robertson's left Manchester City. This one's a permanent deal to Cardiff City, and that was only about 1 million as well. Just shows when they haven't got one of their agents in place, they can't get money for a player.
No.
He wasn't one of those huge fees like they got with James Trafford, even though he was shite. You know, so. Another player leaving Villa on loan to Preston North End this time is Ken Kessler-Hayden. I thought you could only have 6 loans. They seem to have a lot.
I don't know the rules, to be honest with you.
Loads of loans going, and I thought there was only supposed to be 6 now under these new rules. It's really tough.
I think that the loan to buy option is different to the just going on loan, what I've read, like. But I'm not 100% certain on that. If you've got an option to buy, it doesn't count as a loan or something like that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, you know how I feel about them. I'd scrap them all. Don't need loan. You can only transfers, permanent deals, no loans anymore. So I just don't like them. I mean, we see too many times it affects the league. You know, unbalances a league when a team's got loans in, and then the following season, when they're promoted, they've got no team to play, so they struggle badly. Next one, William Masula joining Newcastle United from Sheffield United. I do not remember him playing at all last season. I've got to be honest.
I don't. It was all over Sky News this morning about that, and I'd never heard of him. I'll be honest with you. I never had seen him play at all.
Yeah, I can't remember him at all. Can you remember him, Seamus?
No.
So okay, it's just like that's just come out. So why are they spending a decent sum on a teenager? Well, he's not even a teenager, is he? He's like 20, isn't he?
Well,
Yeah.
when you see the name, I just don't know who it is.
No.
No, I don't know.
I do not. I remember watching Sheffield United quite a few times on last season, and I just don't remember him at all. I don't remember him even coming on this as a sub or anything. Maybe I just missed it. But I just didn't.
Did he pay 15 million for him? Did he pay 15 million for him? Something like that.
Yeah. Seems a lot to play for a player that's that's.
Well, I've never heard of him. It does, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Don't want that when he's not even stood out enough that you remember the name, like when you watched him.
No.
Especially when there's players like that for fun, because obviously Chelsea are selling players like that David Datro Fofana, even though they've only just bought him because obviously they need to buy another teenager instead of him because he's getting a bit old now. He must be getting close to his 20th birthday, so they need to replace him. I just thought he looked quite decent on Fofana, so I was surprised they didn't go for someone like him. But there you go. I don't know. Well, maybe he's better than he's brilliant, but I would have thought you'd have noticed him playing for Sheffield United last season if he was any good.
Yeah.
Because they were terrible. Oh well. Scott McKenna's left Nottingham Forest to go to Las Palmas on a free. I was shocked they even won him, to be honest. It's dog shit, that man. He's so slow and he's always out of position. He's rash. He's not good on the ball. I don't understand why they want him. Just doesn't seem to suit Spanish football at all. Right, that's all the transfers that I've seen anyway. So unless you could heard of any others that I've missed.
No.
I know there's a few in the works, but they're not done.
Yeah, maybe we should discuss about the big one that's in the works. Or the couple of big ones.
Yeah, there are, yeah.
Which one?
Julian Alvarez and Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
They're on the verge of completion anyway. So.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of money to pay for Alvarez. I like him, don't get me wrong, I think he's a very talented lad. But 81 million, it can go up to 64, going up to 81 is a lot for Alvarez for me. I do like him, he's a good player, but not in that bracket for me.
Yeah, he never really impressed as a striker.
No.
He never really looked great at any position. It seems a strange move to me.
Oh wow!
I think he's a decent player,
I think he's a good player.
but
A
not.
good player. I think for Atletico, I think I myself see him as a long-term Antoine Griezmann replacement.
Oh no, he's nothing like that good.
No, he's as good.
Griezmann's a much better player. He offers more. I just don't see it. Alvarez is just a bit nothing for me. He's not got any outstanding. You know, he's one of those. He's quite good all round, but he's not actually.
He could be some player, yeah.
He's
But not in that bracket.
great. Yeah, exactly. He's just. If he'd have said 40, 50 million even, maybe, yeah, but not 80. That's ridiculous. Who's the other? Oh, yeah, Gallagher going.
I think it's overall a good deal. So it's nice that sometimes we
City.
find some topic that we disagree on.
Yeah, I just don't see. If I'd have been City, I think you've got to say why are they willing to sell him at all?
Yeah, that's a bigger topic for discussion, isn't it? Like even if Alvarez has voiced his opinion about not being first choice for big games when everyone is fit and all, but surely they could have told him, give us another year. De Bruyne is getting on a bit. Maybe this is his last season. Haaland has a contract, a clause in his contract, so he might leave. So we see you as taking over from him. But doesn't this necessitate? Doesn't it make it necessary for City to go out and get a replacement now?
Unless they see Mourinho as the replacement, but I can't see that because
no, but he's more of a wide. Yeah, he's more of a wide player.
Yeah, he's to play on the right, so they've got threat on both sides rather than just Doku on the left, isn't it?
And even then, when Haaland is not playing, Alvarez is the replacement. So they need someone to be backup to Haaland, anyways.
Yeah, they definitely need a replacement because they've got nobody.
Because I saw somewhere like next season, Man City can theoretically play up to 75 games with the Club World Cup also happening.
Yeah, and that and you know what, with Haaland, he does pick up a few knocks as well, doesn't he?
And even then, even if you're playing like 60, 65 games a season, you can't expect just to go with one out and out striker.
No, you can't. No. You need to give him a rest at times, like.
Yeah.
Just to keep him fresh for the important games.
Yeah, more so than Alvarez leaving. I'm intrigued with how they go on about replacing him, because they could have gone for someone from the sister club, but then he's already made the move as well, Artem Dobik. Or maybe there are other players in the numerous City Group clubs.
Yeah, probably actually. Yeah, and oh god.
Conor Gallagher, we're talking about.
Oh no, I was just going to say, they've already got worries over Ederson, who's throwing a stroke. You must have seen he's on social media complaining because he's not getting enough attention, and what's his face? His replacement is getting more attention.
Stefan Ortega.
That's it, Ortega. So you see them needing to replace a keeper and a striker this season now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is two of their mainstays changing. That can make a huge difference to a team. This could be a good chance for somebody else to actually push them properly. Yeah, just can't see it being Arsenal without a striker, that's the thing.
Is Ederson definitely going? Is he gone?
No, he's not gone yet, but he wants to go.
I know he wants to go, but I don't know whether anything is being finalised.
But there is no taker for him now, is there? Because the Saudi club I don't know which one it was. The Saudi club that came in for him have signed another keeper now. Predrag Rajkovic.
Yeah, so he might be stuck there anyway, whether he wants to go or not. Which would be good. Because you want a sulking player at a club, you know what I mean? That's what you really want, isn't it? When you got a team, is to have a sulky pants there. Anyway, while we're on this, we haven't done Gallagher.
This Conor Gallagher.
Yeah.
I just think he's suffering because he's not really the greatest player in the world. Let's be honest. He's not got technically. He's good, but he's not great. But he works so fucking hard, and he's desperate to play for Chelsea. You know what I mean? He's a Chelsea fan who's desperate.
Yeah.
And the only reason they're you know, I know Ed 2 thinks they've offered him a fair contract, but they haven't. They bollocks. They've offered him nothing like what they're paying a lot of players. That, I mean, Reece James is on nearly double what they were offering him. And this is the lad who actually plays every week. Was their best player last season. Captained them most of the season. You know, basically almost single-handedly kept them out of the bottom half of the table.
I thought an English team would have come in for Conor Gallagher, to be honest with you. You know, he's a good, honest pro, and I like him. He grafts, as you say, there, Tris. He grafts all game. He's maybe not the most effective against the better teams, but he gets goals. He works hard. He plays for the team. He comes across as a really good lad. And when you think, you know, for someone in that position, a midfielder like him, when you think that Man United paid £55 million for Mason Mount, and he's going for 34 million, you know, does that add up? Not to me. I'd have Conor Gallagher before Mason Mount in any side I was picking, I'll be honest with you. And I'm not just saying that because he plays for Man United, but Conor Gallagher is someone who you're going to get your value for money out of, I think. And I don't think Mason Mount is that type of player.
What I like about him is that he's improved every single season. He's got better. Every time you watch him, and he doesn't mind where he plays either. He doesn't argue about playing. You know, they've asked him to play holding midfielder, attacking midfielder, number 8. You know, just play. You know, he's constantly changing the role, and he just gets on and does his best. I like that about him.
He's fantastic at Palace, wasn't he? Fantastic at Palace. He saved them. You know what I mean? From going down. He was a fantastic player at Palace, and I like him. And I think all the other English clubs I thought might have had a go at him, you know what I mean? Especially the better ones, you know, the likes of Newcastle or someone like that, you know what I mean? Aston Villa. And, you know, I think that's just below the top teams, maybe Liverpool, ones who are not going to be involved in the championship race. That could have gone for them.
Just below. Yes. What I've got to say is, most of all, though, I think Chelsea will regret selling him.
I hope so, to be honest with you.
I think they'll really regret selling him. I think it's a big mistake from their part. I think they need him. I don't think they've got anybody like him. No, I think losing him is a mistake. Anyway, the other thing in the news, Morata and Rodri getting a one-match ban for their Gibraltar Spanish chant after the Euros. So,
does that ban carry over to club football, or is it?
No, it's an international ban, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's nothing.
Yeah, it's just a pointless ban, but I do wonder.
I say it's nothing. Sorry.
Gonna be like.
Sorry. I say it's nothing, but it's the Spanish.
It is so, isn't it?
Vice captain.
Yeah, it's about respect again. You know what Tris was talking about before. You know, you've got to be very careful what you do on social media and in the press and on television. You know, you look at what's happened with the lad from Chelsea, Fernandes. You know, he made a massive mistake as well, and now Rodri. You know, they can't do this. They've got to be more aware of the effect that social media has. a lot of people in Gibraltar won't be fucking happy with that. You know what I mean? It's not right. They've got to think before they open the bloody mouths.
Yeah, I think the Enzo Fernandez one's far worse. What I don't understand with the Enzo Fernandez one is everyone seems to have forgotten about the homophobic, part of it. With the way they talk about Mbappe and that chant is just as bad as the racism in it, but they're completely ignoring that and just focusing on the racism. I think it's little wonder we've still not got any footballers in the Premier League that have come out as gay, because clearly, the football world just doesn't give a shit about them, and it's quite happy for them to be abused. Because nobody's saying anything about that. They're just saying, "Oh well, he's not really racist." It doesn't matter if he's not racist or not. The thing is, he still shouldn't have been chanting the fucking song, and it's also homophobic. So nobody's saying he's not homophobic. So perhaps that's why they're just glossing over that bit. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not right. You've got to have more sanctions against them for saying things like that and doing things like that. It's just not right. It's bringing the game into disrepute, and they should be fined, banned, whatever. Majorly, you know what I mean. What they're doing is a slap on the wrist, and we don't want things like that in football. So come down harsh on them.
Sorry, just realised the point. The reason why I was trying to make the point about that was what I forgot. I actually got carried away and forgot about that point. Because Chelsea are the ones that are constantly complaining about this Chelsea Rent Boys chant that goes, being a homophobic chant. But then they have the chance to crack down on it from one of their own players, a bit of homophobia, and they sweep it under the fucking carpet. Well, then don't complain when fans are chanting Chelsea Rent Boys at you next season, because you've had the chance to show that it's wrong and that, and you've done nothing about it. It's your own fault now.
It's been swept under the carpet. That's gone. It's not a thing now, and there's no big issue with it. It seems to me, and it's just wrong. Call them out, fine them, ban them, make a show of them, do whatever. But it should be highlighted what they've done. All top players, the way they act, I think it's wrong.
Yeah, it's out of order, but they won't do anything. Yeah, the Gibraltar Spanish chant. Now, I mean, it's a bit of a nothing chant. It's a bit of a nothing thing, really. I really couldn't give a toss about Gibraltar. I've got no interest in whether it stays English or British. I mean, or goes back to Spain. But it's not my position. It's not my place to have an opinion on it, because there's nothing to do with it. It's the people who live there and the people who, the people.
Absolutely. It's showing a lack of respect to people as well, and what you were saying before, it seems as though the whole world has lost respect, and it's just another form of lack of respect. And I don't like it. Keep your bleeding mouth shut, don't say nothing. If you can't say nothing good, say nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean, you're celebrating a fucking Euros win. Why are you chanting Gibraltar Spanish anyway? What the fuck's that got to do with celebrating winning the tournament?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's just stupidity. It's
It's insightful, and I don't like it. But that's maybe just me.
There's enough problems there anyway with with the border and that. So
yeah.
Yeah, you just avoid. Just keep your mouth shut. Get on with your game. Yeah, next thing, the last news feature I was thinking is the Lee Carsley. Looks like he's the England interim boss. How do you think
It'll be nicer. I think it'll be a good thing for English football, to be honest with you. He's not a big name coach. He's done it behind the scenes with the under-21s and the under-19s before that, I believe. And he's just done a steady job, brought players through. He knows most of them players now that are going to be on the periphery of the England squad. I'm not just saying that because he's ex-Everton, Lee Carsley, but he seems a very good coach. He seems very well liked, and he's not one of the mainstream yeah, let's get him in. You know what I mean? He's like worked his way up to be given the chance, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, I must say.
Do you know why
If it's not good, get rid of him. Go on, mate.
Do you know why I like it though? Is because he's the absolute opposite of Southgate. He's not play. He doesn't. Well, I don't mean as in like a person or as in like managerial style, anything like that. I mean in the way he plays football. It's attacking. It's exciting. He plays players to suit his system. You know what I mean, rather than worrying about who their name is. Because I mean, he had Curtis Jones played a defensive midfield role in his under-21 side that when it. I'm one player at a time, man of the match in the final on that. He was absolutely brilliant because he allowed him to play attacking foot. They were on the front foot, England were all the time. They were always trying to attack. Even if they, even when they were under the cosh, they were always constantly looking to hit back. You know what I mean? They weren't looking to just, we'll just keep the ball for 10 minutes. So, get a breather. Like, it was always about, let's try and win this. Always. Brilliant.
Yeah, he's entertaining manager. Yeah. I'd say good luck to him. Give him a go. If he's not good, he'd have to go. But at least give him a chance. You've worked your way up. You paid your dues. Here's a little go. Have a go at that and see what you can do with it. I think it's a good move. Myself.
Yeah, I think he deserves just for making good football. Playing good football. I'm looking forward to that. So hopefully, I might actually watching them play then. Because it's like, rather than just using it as a cure for insomnia. So, should we do the Premier League preview then?
Right, okay. How are you going to do it? Are you going to do it alphabetically or on last year's form, or how are you doing it?
Top last year's table would be probably the easiest, isn't it? Though that means we're going to be a while before we get to you, Billy, I'm afraid. But,
That's okay.
Hang on. Aren't we going to talk about Liverpool signings?
What signings?
You haven't signed one yet.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get your point. What's the problem? I'd rather Slot had a look at what he's got, because we've got, rather than did a Chelsea and bought in 30 players, and then they've got no idea what to do with them, and they've got all these good youngsters that they just end up having to sell. That's what would happen at Liverpool if he doesn't have a good look at it and decide who's good enough to make it and who isn't. Just as long as the only things I'd say is, I'd get rid of Gravenberg if it was me.
Yeah, me too.
100%, he'd be the first out the door for me. Other than that, it's not really. He doesn't play a defensive midfielder from what I've seen, so that was the weakness last season. Is that the team desperately needed another one, because Endo was basically, he was running on empty by the end of the season. He was brilliant at times, but his legs just couldn't keep going for every game.
I don't know. I don't know how he will play. I don't know how Liverpool will fare this season, but I don't see them winning the league with this current squad.
No, I can't.
No, probably not. It was the thing that held it back most of all last season was the tactics. So, you can hope better tactics will improve it and give them a better chance. Especially with City losing their backup striker and Arsenal.
Yeah, but your main players are getting a year older.
Yeah. But see, it's a very hard job for sports at the moment, I think. It's a very hard look. He's moved into a side with the Euros and the
that's the problem.
The Copa America running at the same time. When they were over, the lads have got obviously have a holiday with the families or whatever. So he hasn't seen anything of his squad. And you can't just pick players off the peg and say, yeah, I'll have him in. You've got to assess your squad. This is what I try to tell the lads on the site. You've got to assess your squad. He obviously knows about them, but he hasn't seen them play together. He hasn't been able to coach them. And he's had terribly hard look at the moment for me. And another year it wouldn't have been that way, So I feel a bit sorry for him. I think he'll do well. I like him. What I've read about him as a coach. I haven't seen him. would have read him on the coach. I like him. But he's had such hard luck. I think you haven't had a look at Liverpool, to be honest with you. And they're right up there. Can't see them winning the league, that Deep said. But I think you've got to look back and you've got to say, this manager hasn't had a chance yet. Give him a chance. Give him a chance, I say.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those where there's weaknesses in every team at the top at the moment. So until you see what happens at the end of the transfer window, we don't know. Could still all be fixed. Still, but there is definitely. Yeah, we're short of a few things, but that might be enough to get through without if the others struggle. If Haaland has a lengthy injury spell. City are in trouble.
Who would you bring in? As a Liverpool supporter, who would you bring in, realistically?
Ederson. Not Ederson, the Man City goal. I mean Ederson from Atalanta, the midfielder. But I wouldn't play an inverted fullback, so that immediately messes up with it because Slot plays inverted fullbacks, in which case you don't need an Ederson type. According to his style, but I think you still do. I still think you need that holding midfielder. I was saying this to Billy earlier. I'd still play one. That's why City are defensively solid, because they still have Rodri sitting in there, providing a screen.
Yeah.
So I'd get Ederson or Bruno Guimaraes. So I wouldn't go for Zubimendi. I like him as a player, but he's just another McAllister. We've already got him. Lacks a bit of physicality and mobility, but is decent. Very good on the ball and that. But he's not got the passing range of, say, Trent Alexander-Arnold. So why bother? I just don't understand that side. It's what you've already got.
Isn't he more of a holding midfielder than McAllister?
No. He's not a holding midfielder. He played there for Spain, but he's not really a holding midfielder, no. He's more of he's a central midfielder who's, you know what I mean? When Spain brought him on, they brought him on to push on, you know what I mean? Rather than sit back.
Fair enough. So, but the only thing I know about him is that apparently Xabi Alonso is a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
From this time at the B team with Real Sociedad.
I think he's a very good player, but I just think you've already got McAllister. You need to be looking for a player of a different profile. You need complementary skill sets, not just lots of players who are the same. And that's where we seem to be signing is players who are the same. Like Varela, another one linked, is very similar too for my liking. I would want.
Well, hang on a minute. Edison. No, you can't use the words players we've been signing. There has been no signing at Liverpool.
Sorry, I meant. Sorry, I meant linked.
We should have started with City, really, shouldn't we? Yeah. I know we're down to Liverpool at the moment. We should have started with City.
But let's finish Liverpool and then we can move on.
Oh, go on then. Yeah, we can do it that way. It makes no difference.
Can I actually? Yeah. Can I say so? I was saying this to Billy earlier, and I wasn't sure whether we should do it. But I just wanted to point out that, I'm, a lot of people would say we need a right back to, or a midfield. I think Trent can play either. You play him in midfield when Bradley's fit, and you play him at right back when Bradley's not able to play or needs a rest or whatever. But I think a lot of people, I know Billy doesn't rate his defending, but I was saying this is what I wanted to go to. A lot of what he gets crucified for is following instructions. He gets for being too far up the field, the ball goes in behind him. We all know that's not his fault. That's not his job. His job was to get forward. He was told to do it when the ball's going in behind him. That should be somebody else covering, and who it is depends on the game situation. But that's not him at fault for badly defending. The other one he gets stick for was particular. The example I would use would be the one against Doku when we were playing Man City and people were crucifying him because they were saying he was letting Doku go past him too easily. And I disagree completely because I think he was completely following his instructions. He was staying on his feet. He was deliberately not making a challenge. See, when you've got a player like Doku, it's the same with Traore when he was at Wolves, Adama Traore. There's no point making a challenge. He's going to beat you. He's got too much. His feet are too quick. He's got all you're going to do is run the risk of giving away a penalty. You don't challenge him because you know that all you need to do is get them slightly off balance and going at full tilt. That's the two things. That's all you need to do with him, and then the ball will end up in the stands every time. It's not a question. So all you have to do is, and this is exactly what Trent did, is he stood off him. He stood off him, and then he forces him. If he runs back, rather than if he stands close to him, when he starts to run, he can run straight, so he's not off balance. But if you stand off him, he has to swerve round you. I know that's if you've just got a bit of space, he's got to go round you because he can't just go straight past you and gone. He's got to, because you've got a bit of time to react. So he's got to give himself a bit more room round you when he pushes the ball past you. Because otherwise, and then he's having to swerve round you, to arc his run, which means he's off balance, and he's also having to move at full tilt, which means he's out of control slightly. So he's done exactly what he needs to do there. He's put the lad off balance and at full tilt, so everything he does is going to be wild and done off balance, so it could go anywhere. That's all you need to do against a player like that, and that's all you do. You have your other players come over on the cover, so he forces him to actually have to do something, play it back, or give it away. That's all he's doing, and that's what he did, and that's why Doku had no effect on that game, despite him beating Trent, going past Trent. He was doing nothing with the ball every time because of it, because of the way Trent had set up to just let him go. You know what I mean? Just put him off balance and at full pace. That's what you want him to do. That's good defending against him, and he gets slaughtered for things like that when he's actually, for my mind, I think he's been instructed to play it that way against the pacey ones, rather than get involved and risk getting a free kick given against him, or worse, getting sent off. Because the last thing you need is to lose your fullback when he's so important to the Liverpool system. You know what I mean?
I think he was maybe the victim of tactics last year. If that's what you're saying, Trish, right?
In general,
he may have been. I think this is a massive season for Trent himself this year. The tactics that he plays slot is totally different to what Klopp was playing and Pep Linders. So you may be right. You may be right in that. I'm not about press on Trent, by the way. I like the lad. I like him, and I think he's very talented footballer. I don't think that his defending is great at times. I think he switches off. He did against Everton a couple of times. Led to the likes of DCL not even getting challenged when he was in position to mark him. And he does that. But I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying he's not a good fullback. He can be a good fullback. I just think he loses concentration. My problem is finding his best position. I think if McAllister wasn't in the side, you can play Trent there. I think he's a creative midfielder. I don't think he's very good defensively midfield wise in the centre. That could change, but that's just my view on Trent. I think he's a very, very talented player, but I don't think he knows, or Klopp certainly didn't know what his best position was.
Well, he's a midfielder. He was always a midfielder at youth level. He was always a midfielder. He was just a midfielder who came in on the cover at right back because we didn't have one. And then he was just so good at it, they ended up stuck there. But now you've got Bradley. It's time, I think, to put him back into midfield, because Bradley's good enough to. I mean, you don't need him at right back anymore. And are you saying?
That's what I said.
But
what you said. Come on.
I was just going to say two things. One, he can lose concentration. Every player can, admittedly, but he does seem to do it a bit more than most. But he's the one 9 times out of 10 that if there's a player on the cover after Van Dijk or whoever is partnering him in that game, it switches off, which happens a lot with Virgil in particular. Is responsible for a lot of times where he's just caught out because he's a bit lackadaisical at times. It's always Trent that's on the cover. If you watch, he's the one that's always coming back, coming across from fullback areas into the centre or sweep, clearing it off the line and stuff. He did that a lot over the last few seasons. So he clearly has got defensive you know what I mean? He's got positional sense, he spots danger, he reads the play well. But the other thing is, you were saying you've got McAllister, why would you put Trent there? I'm sorry, but like, because Trent's better passer, by far a better passer, he's got better vision, he's better mobility, he's a better player.
That's what I'm saying about. That's what I'm saying about Slot.
The one that'd lose out for me.
That's what I'm saying about Slot. It's and why it's such a big season. If he plays in there, in midfield, and without a defensive player, the defensive midfielder, which is what I thought Klopp and Linders did, tried to make him into a defensive midfielder by slotting him in at 6. And I think if he had a more natural role there, which is the McAllister role for me, he maybe excelled there. But I don't think he's been a victim of the tactics that Liverpool have employed over the last maybe year or two. I think it might be better in midfield without if he doesn't play a defensive midfield.
We only played defensive midfield twice, and that was in pre-season. And then Bradley got injured in the second match, and he had to switch back to right back. So he never played defensive midfield in the actual league games and that. Except like he came on as a substitute a few times in midfield, but he's never actually played there as in like a full game there for Liverpool. Not in the last couple of seasons. The only reason he played there, they tried him out there last pre-season with Bradley at right back, and he played really well. He looked really good. He was reading, he was constantly sweeping up the danger and that, and it looked a fantastic setup like that. But yeah, then Bradley got injured, and they never got a chance to take it into the season. So we'll never know whether it had worked. But he definitely didn't play. He played as a inverted fullback, so which is just a nonsense because it just confuses players what they do and should they stay in, should they go back to their position? When they're defending, at what point do they go back? And it just creates uncertainty and problems. I don't like it. I would prefer to see him play as a fullback. Put an Ederson type in the midfield to protect the defence, and just allow him to be a fullback again, or play him as the defensive midfielder alongside an Endo or Ederson. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't. But yeah, no, McAllister for me would be the one that would be struggling to keep. When he was playing further forward, he was really good, but I still think you can upgrade on him.
It's okay.
Yeah, he had a few good games, but I like him. Don't get me wrong, I don't. It's one of those where I want him to stay and prove me wrong, but I just don't think he's someone that you couldn't improve. I think you could improve on him quite easily. I don't think he's quite top class. He's great, but not. And I'm not sure he wants to. I'm not sure he has his heart set on staying at Liverpool for the long term anyway. So. Yeah, McAllister. I think he's one of those that's he'll be looking to leave as soon as an offer comes in. He'll be looking to go to Spain. I think long term.
Maybe you could use him in a part exchange for Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
That should instantly make you guys like him, wouldn't it?
I wish, but yeah, that's never gonna happen.
I got forwards for that. That's it.
Yeah, that's a fantasy, mate. I'd need the tissues if that happens. Sign Bellingham. Oh yes, please. Just as long as
you need a new box of underwear.
Yeah.
There's
a few Liverpool players who are going to be under the spotlight this year. Alexis Szoboszlai, and maybe the winger, the left winger, what's his name? Diaz. Yeah, do you think they're going to be in the spotlight early doors? Because it looks as though Diaz wants it out. I know
He does.
down to his outfall and all that rubbish, but him and Szoboszlai never had a good end to the season. He was pretty poor, to be honest with you.
He was.
Uh,
How was he poor? I keep hearing this. He was playing.
Szoboszlai,
Wasn't
yeah.
playing as well as he'd started the season, admittedly, but he wasn't poor by any means. I don't understand where people.
I thought he was poor.
No.
Honest to God, I thought he was poor.
No, don't see that at all. He was still one of the, he was still playing well. I thought he just wasn't at the same level as he'd been at the start of the season, where he'd been sensational. Now he was playing more for the team. He was covering more and stuff rather than just getting forward at will. No, I
didn't think he was great, I'll be honest with you. I didn't.
I was happy with what he produced. I just don't think you're going to expect a player in his first season at his age to come in and just excel for an entire Premier League season.
Maybe we were spoiled with the start he had, because he started off like a house on fire. Yeah, maybe.
I think that's what it was.
He did tail off when whether you like it or not. Yeah, for me, he tailed off, and for a lot of supporters, he tailed off. And he's got to get that back. That's why I'm saying, would he be under the spotlight of it? And Diaz may be the same. And I think there's a couple there. Endo, I'm not sure what's happening with him. Will they let him go?
Yeah,
Will
they're trying to sell him. Which I
think he's a very good squad player, but I don't think he's going to play every week. No. But I think he's a very good squad player. And I think there's a few there, and it's going to be big seasons for them. You've got VVD is going to go at the end of the year. You've got Salah who's going at the end of the year. Trent hasn't signed his contract yet, which I think he will. I'm very hopeful that he'll sign another contract. But I think it's going to be a big season for Liverpool, for the players, to sort out contracts, maybe bring another one or two in, possibly. Go on, Jeff.
I was just going to say, I think you mentioned one of the big problems with this pre-season and what's messed up the transfer situation is Diaz.
Yeah.
Because he wants to go, Liverpool willing to sell him, quite happy to let him go because they've got, they're not seeing him as essential to the team or anything, and Barcelona just simply can't afford him or don't want him, whichever it is. I'm not sure, don't want him as much as he wants to go there, so he's kind of stuck in limbo now because he's pushed so hard to get that move and it's not happening at the moment. So,
no.
Yeah, that's kind of made a mess, and that's that's obviously put a dent in things because we need to, it's all very well saying you need to buy players, but you also need to get rid of, because you can only have so many in the squad.
Yeah.
And it's the same situation a lot of clubs have found, except Chelsea, who just add more and more players anyway and don't care about the fact that the manager can't handle that many players and can't put that many in the squad, and half of them are going to have to do something else. But what the hell they're going to do with all their 40-odd players each?
That is where them signing the kids comes in. You don't have to register everyone.
Yeah, but you've still got to, if you're training, you've still got too many players for a coach to handle.
A master squad as well, but I'm just saying for the owners, at least they can justify by saying, well, we only have 20, 25, 30 odd senior players.
You certainly don't need 40 odds. It's ridiculous.
Oh, no way. 25 is already more than enough, especially with their much famed academy, no?
But they can't handle the manager needs a smaller squad so he can work with the players, and coach them and drill them and that. And this is why it took so long for Chelsea to start actually coming together last season. Is because they had too many players last season and they've gone and increased the squad this season. It's insanity. It's like they're not learning. Just when you think they're improving, they're learning lessons, they show they're not. It's bizarre. But yeah, we've got a similar problem where we've got a squad size that's fine. We don't really need to add players. What we need is to replace players. So we need to get players out and then bring in players to replace them. Like, we need to get rid of a defender, really, before we can buy a centre-back. But we want to we want a left-sided centre. We need to get rid of one really, because we've got, you've got Gomez, you've got Van Dijk, you've got Kanate, you've got Kwanzaa, you've still got Nat Phillips is still there. Remember, who's the other one? So I think there's 6, first team centre backs though.
Yeah, Matip's gone now, hasn't he?
Vandenberg.
Yeah, Vandenberg, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, the one that has to go is, apart from Nat Phillips needs to go obviously, but I'd get rid of Kanate myself. I'd sell him.
Would you?
Can't stay fit.
All right.
Stay fit. There's no point. He's too rash and he can't stay fit. I like him, but he's not. He's not. He's not gonna make. He's not. Is he? He's just not gonna stay fit. You just know he's gonna play a couple of games and then he'll be out for 3 weeks. You can't build a team around that.
Yeah, but you're running out of replacements. Everybody's getting the moves.
Exactly, and this is the problem. It's you can't just keep adding players, because what the fuck do you do with them all? And the problem is we've got Hughes is trying to ask for huge amounts of money for every player. It seems like he's desperate to prove he's a shrewd operator and is going to get big money, because he won't even negotiate with people. It's like if you don't.
Yeah, but you're running out of options. You're running out of options to sign, and you're running out of clubs.
I'm not. I've got to say, I'm not being impressed by the idea of bringing him in anyway, because I didn't see what he did well at all before. I didn't see what he'd done to deserve the job. But and now he's been in for a few. I don't see what he's doing well since he's got the job. I mean, we've not done anything either way. We've not sold anyone or brought anyone in. I mean, surely he should have been getting rid of some of the excess players and bringing in replacements by now. He should have been, and it's just not happening. It worries me. I just think Hughes is out of his depth.
Well, you have got Kwanzaa and you've got Bradley coming back. So I think they're like, I know it's an old saying, but they're like 2 new signings, I know he at the end, Kwanzaa was playing quite regularly, and but Bradley, he's going to be a massive plus, and I think Kwanzaa's going to be a massive plus for you. I think they're 2 very good young players. But I still think there's a bit of work to be done. But as I said before, the Euros and the Copa America knackered things up for you. But I hope they give Slot a chance to utilise these players before they go and just buy players for the sake of it.
Kwanzaa's an interesting one, because he was about to quit to go over to America to go to college. And
was he? Yeah.
Yeah, and you remember the season Liverpool had all their centre-backs out injured?
Yeah.
That was what changed his mind. He'd just about given up on, he thought, it's go and get a college degree in that and, play college football. He can play MLS football while he's out there and that, and then got, sorted it. So luckily, we had that injury crisis, and it could have worked out. It could have worked in our favour in the long term, because Kwanzaa turned out to be a very good player.
Yeah.
He was improving.
Yeah, he looks good. Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on to Man City? I think we've talked enough about.
Yeah, go on.
What do you say about them? I mean, apart from the loss of Alvarez and Edison being a bit of a child now, throwing a tantrum. But Yaya Toure there and there. Did you see who was it that got a cake for their birthday just a few days ago? I can't remember who it was. Man City gave them a cake for their birthday. You just thought, I wonder what Yaya Toure was doing.
Yeah.
I'd have loved to see Yaya Toure's face when he saw that. Bless him. But apart from the striker being a problem, that Savinho looks. He looks a really good. But they're still stuck with players like Grealish. They've still not got rid of Calvin Phillips.
Oh, you go to Everton, you can bet your life on that.
Oh, I hope so.
I know, I hate him honest to God. I don't like him at all as a player. And it looks as though we're going to get him, and with them paying half of his wages. And he's someone I don't want, but yeah, but they've still got a hell of a squad, haven't they? You know, and the winter's not over yet. I'm imagining they're going to bring one or two in.
Yeah,
but Grealish has been a mistake, and I think he'll be out the door this summer.
Yeah, but there's a lot. What I was trying to is there's a lot of uncertainty there. You've got Guardiola who doesn't really want to be there anymore.
No.
Nah, he's had enough now. He's ready to, but he's still got a contract. I mean, he's off doing coaching tennis and fucking basketball these days. You know, he's had enough. He wants a break. Yeah. Ederson obviously wants out. They've lost Alvarez. They've got Bernardo Silva's been trying to leave for years. Jack Grealish is a failure who they can't get rid of. Obviously, Calvin Phillips looks like he's going somewhere, but if not, that's another one who's just clogging up space. There's a lot there that's not. It's not all roses. That's what I'm trying to say. There's still. If they don't sign a striker as well, like someone to replace Alvarez, they really are looking weaker than last season because De Bruyne is looking a shadow of the player he was. And he's
I think I read that he wants to as well.
Yeah, well, he was. Yeah, so they could be. Savinho, though, is some player, must be said. They would never have got him for that amount of money if he wasn't from, wasn't from their feeder club.
Is it?
Well, yeah, he was he was on loan at Girona last.
He was on loan at Girona from Troyes, I think.
Yeah, so
the French clubs.
Yeah, the two of their feeder clubs he's played. He's never actually played for Troyes, has he?
I don't think so.
He went straight out on loan to Girona, and their manager Michel, when he saw him, said, "We're going to get top 6 with him in the team." And basically says he basically puts it down to him that they were able to compete last season because he's that good. So there's no way they'd have got him for. What do they pay? Something like 17 million? I mean, come on, he would have been 60, 70 million if it had been anybody else. Let's be honest, it's just another form of cheating. This financial doping, isn't it? They have in their feeder clubs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it'll be interesting to see how they get on when Haaland's out injured and De Bruyne if De Bruyne doesn't hit form and that it could all fall apart there.
I think that's more than hope than expectation.
It is hope rather than expectation, but it could do. I mean, you never know, and they've still got their 115 charges. I mean, they've already got the 22.
Yeah, they've snubbed off, yeah. For a million, 4 million or 2 million, was it 2 million they got fined?
Yeah.
For the first 22, yeah.
I love how he's trying to
marvellous.
It was just him taking too long over his half-time pep talks, like when we all know that he was deliberately doing it on the final game of the season. One of them was deliberate so they could make sure they saw how Arsenal got on.
Yeah, gamesmanship, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but still there is the hope that this season could be the one where just one too far. Guardiola does tend to lose his edge, doesn't he? He wants to go. He wants his rest. So maybe this is where he wants to go.
Maybe, you never know.
It happened at Barcelona where Mourinho beat them because he just had enough. He wasn't the same, and it just feels like he's getting to that point here.
I think he needs a Mourinho. I think he needs someone like a Mourinho to get him over the years. Like Mourinho completely mentally drained him.
Yeah.
So, at a psychological tiredness for him. So maybe that is what is lacking for him right now, especially with Klopp gone.
Yeah, he was
especially with Klopp gone.
That could actually rival him, as he hasn't got any rivals now, has he? Really? I mean, who is there?
Mourinho made it as dirty as possible.
Yeah, Yeah, but I mean, there's nobody to actually, you know, Mourinho stood up and fate took him on rather than all the others kind of like, you know, they're too respectful of him. And I think they
Yeah,
make it too easy, but they just copy him rather than try and beat him.
yeah. Maybe Arteta can come out and say, "I love football too much. That's why I have hair." That was genius from Mourinho. That was genius from Mourinho.
He had some good comments.
He's got one hell of a sense of humor.
They're still going to be up there this year, though, at this City. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't rule them out.
You-
They're still
they're
probably
the team to beat.
favourites.
if somebody finishes above them, they've won the league. Let's be
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want, like it's all wishful thinking at the end.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Bruce.
Yeah, they are the team to beat, sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you've got to finish above them to win the league. It's not like they're going to finish mid-table. Even if they have a bad season, they're still going to be second. So.
Like
Yeah.
the worst season I can see for them without any points deduction. The worst of worst. Like if everything goes wrong for them is third, and I mean like everything that could go wrong does go wrong. Then they finish third. That's
That's
quite
the absolute worst you could see, isn't it? A really an absolute disaster season. Yeah, I'm fully agreeing with you on that one. Sadly. Yeah, so we move on to Arsenal then.
Yeah, massive season for Arsenal this year. It was a massive season last year for them. I still think they've got a couple of flaws, especially in the forward department. I'm not a big fan of Jesus. I've been saying it for a few years. He couldn't get in the Man City side because he wasn't good enough. I don't think he's good enough to get in the Arsenal side. I think Kai Havertz blows hot and cold. He's never going to get massive scores. He'll chip in, but if Arsenal want to win the league this year, they've got to get a centre forward. Who that'll be, I don't know, but they need a centre forward for me. The rest of the side shapes up really well. They've got a good midfield. They've got a good defence. I'm not too sure on the keeper. I'm still not sure on him. But I think they're a good all-round side. They just need that cutting edge. Someone who's going to win you the game on his own by slotting a couple or one, maybe two goal, get you a 1-0 win with a bit of magic. And that's where I think they are at the moment for Arsenal.
What about left wing? You don't think they're weak there as well?
Well, they got Martinelli out there. They put Martinelli on the left there. And he's in and out. He seems to me to only play one half of a game. He doesn't do much for a half the game. He either comes on and does well, or he starts and gets taken off at half time. And he's another bit of a show pony, but he is skillful and he will get you the odd goals and he produces crosses. So I don't think he's a massive weakness, to be honest with you. But, you can definitely upgrade on him.
I'm not keen on him at all. I don't think he's a very good player. Flatters to deceive for me. Look, I know, he's all flicks and tricks, but no actual end product at all. No, I wouldn't have him anywhere near the side. You need to get rid of him. Somebody's saying play him up top, but personally, I don't think he's a striker either. He's just not a good player, in my opinion.
No, he hasn't got the composure to be a striker.
He hasn't got the quality. He's just fast. He's got, he'll do fancy little tricks, but they do nothing. They absolutely achieve nothing. He's got no intelligence for me. And he's not been, and that might be down to coaching because he has, he's got the technical aspects needed, but he just hasn't any idea how to use them. He's not being coached correctly, in my opinion, but that might be down to him not allowing himself to be coached correctly, rather than down to. I wouldn't put that down to the Arsenal backroom staff. I'd say it's probably more likely he just hasn't got the mentality for it, because that's how it comes across when he plays. What do you think of him, Seamus?
I think he's a good player to have around in the squad, but I think it's a massive season for Martinelli as well if he has to prove himself to be a start of a title-winning, title-contending team. Because he did lose his place at the end of last season to Trossard.
Yeah, Trossard would be ahead of him for me, and and he's very hot and cold as well. But
yeah, Trossard is a lot like Martinelli. He can be effective. He's versatile. He's good to have around the squad. But can he be the guy that can win you the league?
Yeah, I think they're just a bit short of what's needed, but particularly with the striker. What about you, Seamus?
A left back. I know they've signed Calafiori, but he's not a left back.
Even an inverted left back, or a basically third, left-sided member of what becomes a back three.
That's it. Yeah.
But then even he's not a right back, so what's his name? Ben White.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this whole
Inverted.
playing. Yeah, it's become just. It's not just inverted anymore. It's become a lot more. It's convoluted. It's convoluted fullback. It's not even inverted.
Convoluted fullback, yeah.
It's just making the game complicated to show how good a coach they are, rather than because it's better for the team, in my opinion. If you kept it simple, you'd be better off. Better for the players.
Where do you see them finishing, Chris? Where do you see Arsenal finishing?
Top three,
Second.
definitely.
I see them second.
How about you, Deep? Second? You
Yeah.
say second?
Probably, yeah. I think that's the most likely, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
Actually, they've already lost Timber again to injury by the looks of it. So
Yeah, but they're about to sign Mikel Merino.
yeah, but do you rate him? Have you seen him? When he played, I'm sure he played in England before, didn't he?
Yeah, for Newcastle.
Yeah, and he was like slower than a week in jail. He was a slug. I mean, guy couldn't run. He was a very good technically, brilliant technical player, but he makes Jorginho look like a sprinter. I mean, Usain Bolt is Jorginho's Usain Bolt compared to Merino. Yeah, I just don't see all this. I don't see that making sense. Not the way Arteta's playing anyway. If he was playing, maybe he's going to go to even more measure. Maybe he's going to go completely Pep. In which case it might make sense, but I just don't see that as a signing that makes a team, go from being second to first. It just doesn't seem like the signing that makes a difference.
Can I just ask you if you think if Pep does leave, which it looks as though he's going next year to me, this is last year at City, do you think Arteta would be taking the Man City job if offered it?
Oh yeah. Jump at it.
No, I don't think they will offer him the job.
Oh, don't you? No? Okay.
I think they'll go and get the best, whoever they think's the best at the time. And I can't see that being Arteta personally.
I think it is possible that it's gonna be the Girona guy, Michel.
It could well be, yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good shout because he's done very well there.
And he's rejected a move away as well. Because apparently he was top choice for Chelsea, but turned him down.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Arteta, he'd have to be crazy to go from Arsenal to Man City. Well, why wouldn't you? And Arsenal in history are a bigger side. They've got a bigger fan base and all that, but Man City gives you the chance to win everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, and he's got history there, and he's starting to play the Pep way. Well, he has been for a while. Very much a clone of Pep, the way he sets up and everything. So I was just wondering whether that could be an outcome for him. to actually be a replacement for Pep if he leaves next year.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I think Seamus is right. I think if someone like Xabi Alonso has another stellar season, I'm sure Man City would try and get him as first, but I can't see him
Right, okay.
taking that job. I just don't think that's his style. I don't think he's seeing himself going that way. Otherwise, why stay at Leverkusen for another season when he could have gone? He could have gone. See, I think it's.
Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Seamus hit the nail on the head there with Michel. Unless he has
Oh,
a
that's okay.
disaster next season, obviously. In which case he might put him out of running. But yeah, I just don't see that he's that great. He's spending hundreds of millions every summer. Oh, every season. They're still not. They've still not made that little step up that you have to do.
Yeah.
If you spend that amount of money.
I think he's gotten a free ride last season as well because Arsenal binned off every other competition to compete for Premier League.
Yeah, and then they failed to win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the Holy Grail. He's bound to be that.
No, but come on, Billy, you cannot justify it being the Holy Grail. The Champions League is also the Holy Grail. Finishing second and winning a League Cup is also better than finishing second and winning fuck all.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But, for a lot of managers and certainly a lot of supporters, they prefer the Premier League to even the European Cup. I know by talking to Liverpool supporters and other supporters there.
Yeah, but here we're talking about specifically Arsenal. If the Arsenal fan base, which is known for its stupidity and idiocy, but still, if they think they would rather win Premier League than their first ever Champions League, then maybe they were dropped on their head too many times.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there. Because they've got a history.
If Arteta can lead them to a Champions League, he can lay a claim to being their greatest manager.
Yeah.
But when you're spending that amount of money, you shouldn't be targeting one trophy anyway. You should be targeting everything. You should be going for everything. He's got the squad. He's got the money spent. He spent ridiculous amounts of money. He needs to actually say, we're going to go and just... And it becomes a habit anyway, winning. You're just throwing away a chance. You lose your confidence. It affects your form.
It does, but there's so many games now, and especially with the Champions League going to 10 games. Yeah, that's going to 10 games this year, isn't it? Champions League.
Liverpool used to play, with the FA Cup replays and the League Cup, League Cup
it's a bit...
legs. They be all the replays.
And
the games.
You're going to tell me they won the league with... You're going to tell me they won the league with 14 players now, and which they did. And that was football then. Football now is a lot more draining.
They're just not. They haven't got the stamina. They don't run enough. They don't put enough, enough training into.
Don't you think so?
Stamina.
I think the speed of the game.
They're trained to a much higher pitch. They're peaked constantly. They're trying to keep them peaked for the entire season, and that's impossible. You can't do that. That's why Olympic athletes, or like Tour de France, even with the help of all the drugs, they have to choose which competitions they're going for and set their year around just 1 week of peaking.
That's exactly what I'm saying. You've got to prioritise.
Yeah, but
you go for the Champions League, you go for the Premier League.
Yeah, but there isn't more games. It's just footballers are trained wrong. They're trained to be like Tour de France athletes or sprinters or whatever. They're trained to peak, and you cannot maintain a peak. And you shouldn't need a peak physical. You shouldn't be at your peak physicality anyway. You shouldn't need to for the entire season for you to be able to play great football, because it should be, there should be more about the technical side of it, and and the mental side of it should be able to make up for the troughs in your performance physically anyway. So you should just be,
I agree, I agree with you.
stamina. They don't do
I
anything.
agree with you, but I don't think it's like that now. It should be great if it was, but I don't think it's like that. I think it's about prioritising. I think it's like you go for the league. You start out with a plan to win 4 trophies in the thing. 5 if you count the Chelsea Shield, but you get to a stage where you're starting to get injuries. Your players are starting to tire, and you say, "Hang on, we're away in the next 2 games to Barcelona or to Real Madrid in the Champions League, and then we're going to Liverpool, to Anfield, play Liverpool and Man City the week after, and." What do we want? What are we going to prioritise? You can't do both. I don't think you can do both.
Yeah, but what they could have done is just rested them from training.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They're resting them from playing. I mean, this is you go over the trophy. You don't rest your players from going for your trophy. You rest them in training so that you can go for the trophy. That's what you should be doing. That's why Arteta failed.
I agree with you. I agree with you totally. But it's not the way football works at the moment. As far as I can see, I think they prioritise. And they put weak teams out in cups. They put a kids team out in the League Cup. Which is a bit disrespectful to me to them competitions. But it lets the other teams got a fighting chance, I suppose. But I don't like it as much as you, Tris. But it seems as though they do prioritise.
Yeah, but that's what we're saying, is that like Arteta prioritised one thing and just basically said, we won't fucking bother with the rest, and then failed to win it, and he's still getting an easy ride for it. When they should be saying, well, you didn't even win the one you went for. You failed us.
You know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. Yeah, I do get it.
That's he shouldn't be getting such an easy ride for that. If he'd said I'm gonna go for one and then wins it, that's fine. You've prioritised it and you've done it. That's a sensible decision. But if you don't win it, you've got questions have to be asked, especially when you're spending 200 million every season.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree.
So.
So, Aston Villa, are we going on to now?
Do you think they can be as good next season? Had a lot of cheering up with their squad.
No, I don't. I think they peaked last year. They done really well. Don't get me wrong, they played some nice football as well. But you add in the Champions League, and you add in weight of expectation, and it's not going to be an easy ride for them this year. It makes a difference, and I can't see them. I like Villa with play, like the manager, but I don't think they're going to be having such a stellar season as what they did last year.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a problem with having the Champions League, I think. What about you, Seamus?
I think it would be unfair and unrealistic to expect them to finish in the top 4 again. If they can do, then it's a round of applause for Unai Emery and everyone at Aston Villa. But realistically, they should aim to do really well in the Champions League and then try and qualify for a European football competition again next season. That should be viewed as a good season for them next season.
Yeah, I think European qualification is a good season for them when you consider that, there's not just the 3 we've already mentioned. You've got Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, West Ham, Palace all spending...
Everton.
I wasn't going to include them because I was talking about teams choosing for Europe. Well, I mean,
All right, yeah.
You can put them forward if you like, Bill, but I just can't see.
Yeah, I've got to it. I've got to it's my
I
job.
just can't see that happening, mate. I know.
Oh,
Nice.
God.
It's nice that you've got your dreams, like, but I think that's a bit of
No, no, no. We should allow Billy the next 10 days to talk about European football and Everton, because after that it's all gonna be relegation.
Not yet, it's not.
Oh, just wait, Billy. Just wait, Billy. When you get slapped with another 5-10, I don't know
9
how many
points.
points that's it.
Yeah, with all these,
We get 9 points.
You're gonna get points deduction because Man City didn't start their games on time.
Yeah, well, yeah, you got your fourth. You got away with 70 million, didn't you? Your crew. Putting back to you. Or you're cheating. But there you go.
Fight.
Right.
Yeah. So
Back on Villa.
So we all think Villa basically, it's just a bit of a learner season for them in Europe, in the Champions League, really. Then
I think that's a good expression. Yeah, it is a learning curve for them this season, and I hope they do well. I think they're good. They've got some good players, and I wish them all the luck in the world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd like to see them do well. It'd be nice to have a different, them up there challenging again as well. I hope they are pushing, because it's the more the merrier, isn't it? How many in the battle at the top, and hopefully they'll keep, especially if they keep Man United out of it. That'd really cheer me up if they stay out of the top, out of the European again. Just even if I didn't dislike Man United, it'd just be because I don't take the piss out of Sheamus, which is the best thing ever. Obviously, there's nothing better you can do in life than.
Yeah, we come on to get to them.
You just wait and watch when we lift the number 20 and then.
When you lift what?
The number 20.
Well, I doubt I'll live that long, mate. I don't know even if I really was only 21 at this last birthday, I still think I probably wouldn't live long enough to see that happen.
No, just wait when the era comes to an end.
Oh yeah, well, I'll be waiting a long time, I think, before United's era comes back. Yeah.
You genuinely think it's gonna take that long?
Yeah,
I asked for the opinion because a Liverpool supporter knows about waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
United did before us, So
no, Billy, I'm not just saying it to take the piss because
it takes a long time to turn it round.
And also it's just
thing.
Yeah, and the time just creeps up. It's already been like more than a decade since we won the league.
Shit, does it?
It feels like it's coming and then
Wow, Robin van Persie was that long ago. Wow, doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah, like I wasn't just saying it to take the piss. Like genuinely,
it takes so long though, even when because it's not just it takes a while to rebuild, and there's always a false dawn or 3 before it actually you can. It's not just us, it's not just you. You've been through it before, and Arsenal went through it before Wenger. They had a long spell out of it. I mean, Tottenham is still going through theirs since 1971.
Yeah, but Tottenham are a different case. Like, they're allergic to victories.
But it takes a long time to turn a mess around like you're in. It's not something that happens overnight. You've got everything needs doing. I mean, your stadium, you need to fix, your whole backroom staff still isn't quite right for me. I'm still not convinced that you've got, the staff in place to win a league. You've the training grounds is apparently on the list, but that is one of the most important things. You know, and the academy takes time to start producing players that actually can push in and make that little step up that brings in the quality. Because I mean, you've got players
We've
like
been lucky with
Rashford.
the academy, man.
Yeah, but they've
No,
not
we've been
been
lucky. Because
that step up that's taken you into you know, that I don't know how to describe. You know, the little step up players. They're not the ones like Rashford where they come in and they play well. I'm talking about like the players that make the difference, that take you over the line when it matters, that you had before. You know,
no,
like
but
Nicky
still, up until now,
Butt.
we've been lucky. We've been lucky with the academy. I'm
Yeah,
not saying we've
yeah,
been good
true.
with the academy. I'm saying we've been lucky with the academy that we produced raw talents. The unfortunate thing is we've not been able to harness the talent well.
Yeah, but you need. I'm talking about the players. Like, I'm not talking about like the talent, the top talents. I'm talking about the little ones that just fill in gaps in the squad, like the Nicky Butts and the John O'Shea's. That type of player I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that just take you over the line when you know, when you've got an injury crisis and you can fill in with a couple of these. Those are the ones that you know, that take a while, because you've got the main who's great, but you need the little, you know, these kind of John O'Shea types and the Nicky Butts to just fill in. The Phil Neville, even when he was at United, they just fill in the gaps and do enough. You know, they're not good enough to play every week, but it can just
No,
take you
I
over the
think we
line when you
even
need
those
the help.
players. I think we would have. We wouldn't be like you wouldn't be complaining about them if the overall quality was as high. That's the
Mm,
issue. McTominay would just be a guy who comes off the bench and
yeah,
maybe like plays the odd game here and there. And Garnacho would be someone who rotates with the attacking players. But now,
yeah,
because the
not
overall
really.
quality is low, no, because overall quality is low, McTominay and Garnacho are an integral part of the first team setup.
Yeah,
That wouldn't
personally for
a
me, I
player, a
don't see
similar kind of
Garnacho
player.
even being off the
Mm,
bench good enough as a rotation option for me. No.
No, I think as a guy coming from the academy, he would be a very good option if he was a backup to someone on the right wing or a backup to someone on the left wing. But no, he's our first choice player, and he's at best a very good prospect for the future, and at worst someone who's massively overhyped.
I think he's massively overhyped. Like I said, I think Ahmad Diallo's a better player. I would play him over him every week. So yeah, but
Right.
yeah, I
But,
just think you need that step up play. You know, not just, you know, you need the quality to be better overall in the team, and then you need these little step in players who just cover from the. That's what they need to be, rather than players who are starting every
yeah.
week.
Well, with United, for me, I think they've got to get rid of all these deadbeats that they've got.
Mm.
The likes of Anthony, you know, players like that.
No, Billy.
The
It's not just deadbeat. It's massively overpaid deadbeats. That's the issue.
yeah. Yeah, and
It's
Casemiro, you know, he was bought too late. You know what I mean? He's been a great player, Casemiro,
no,
but
yes.
he's in the twilight of his career. He's got to go.
Do you
Anthony's got to go.
seriously? Sorry, you
Yeah,
seriously think Casemiro was ever a great player?
I thought he was very good. Yeah, I really did.
Good player, but
I
not
really
good.
did think he was very good.
No.
But that's what United have got. They're stuck with these players that they can't get rid of, and that's what they've got to do first. That's why I don't think it's an easy fix with United. You know, you can play the manager and change the manager as much as you want, but until you get these players off the books and replace them with players who want to play for the shirt and will give everything and be a good club man and want to play for the shirt, you want players like that, like they did in the 2000s. You know what I mean? The great Man United sides. But you've got too many players there that they've got to get rid of, the deadbeats. And once they get rid of them, they start again. But that's going to be a 5-10 year plan. I don't think you're going to get rid of them that quick to make them a good side. You know what I mean? That's my opinion.
How the hell is Luke Shaw still there? And injured again, by the way. But how the hell is Luke Shaw still there?
I was here in England squad.
Oh,
Amazing, but there you go. the only one who kept on, even though he was injured, he took him, and he hadn't played for 5 months or 6 months.
Oh,
Bloody ridiculous.
it's insane, isn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it is. But the league needs a good, strong Man United for me. You know, you want teams challenging. That's why I was happy about Villa. We were talking about them before. There's something different. They're coming into the mix. They're going to take points off even the better sides. Man United should be doing that, and it makes an interesting open league. Then, you know, but now Man United, to be honest with you, they're a bit of a joke outside, aren't they? You know, with the likes of, you know, they're playing Maguire. You know, when he can play, he's playing, and they're just not good enough for a strong Man United side. And I think they've got like 5 or 6 players that they've got there that, you know, are holding the club back. And I want to see a strong Man United side. I'll be honest with you, I do. And you know, it's good for the league, good for football, but at the moment, they're just not a contender for me to even get near the top 4. You know, 6th is what they should be looking at for me next year. I don't know how you feel, Deeps.
6th, I don't know, but a top 4 and Champions League is the rightful expectation for us to have.
Realistic, though? Do you think it's a realistic target?
No, I'll say it like this. If we don't get Champions League football next season, Ten Hag doesn't deserve to stay in the job.
I don't know. I don't think you can just blame the manager. I think this has been a problem for a while with United, you know.
No, but after 3 years, if you can't slightly overachieve, then you're not good enough.
But he got us in the Champions League last year, didn't he? That was overachieving. So, you know...
And how did we play?
Absolutely hopeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. But he did get you into the top 4, which was probably his brief at the start of the season. He had a bad season last year.
And I'm saying, if he has an underwhelming season again, then that's see you later, bye-bye. And mind you, I am probably one of the few guys who has never said sack Ten Hag.
I said second, to be honest with you. I don't think he was going anywhere, but I don't blame him. I blame the likes of Ed Woodward taking on these players, and I thought they had a really bad setup where they were buying players, paying them millions, you know. They just offered Jared Brantwaite $160,000 a week, which has made a mess of Everton's thing, because we can't keep him on $160,000 a week. And then they want to pay 45 million or whatever they want to play for. Now, he's a good up-and-coming player for me, but you can't pay wages like that because you can't get rid of them if it doesn't work out. And that's what's happened with the likes of, as I say, Anthony, Casemiro, Amrabat supposed to be a really good screw. I know he's not full-time yet, but there's loads of players that you're getting, and you're paying them this fantastic money, and it's not working out. You've got to change tactics somewhere for United to get back on track.
Yeah, they definitely need to sort out the squad before you can. But
we need a new DM.
Yes.
That's about midfield. We need a new DM.
Yeah, the problem is the recruitment has been a bit messy. You've allowed Ten Hag to do to have too much say, but you've also brought in players that that nobody seems to have. Just seemed to be a case of they're a big name, we'll bring them in like Casemiro, rather than actually going and finding the right player for what you need. In either situation, you've ended up with Anthony and Casemiro and Sancho without anybody actually saying, well, let's find the right player. It's just been who's a big name, who's got the hype, rather than, and that seems to be the problem.
Who fits the bill, yeah. I think you're right, Chris. And I think they're in a very awkward situation now, and I can't see an easy fix where they're going to improve over a short period of time. I think they've got to get rid of the bigger, the big earners, they've got money. United, they're a massive, massive club, but they can't afford to buy these players on a whim and just where did Ten Hag go, Anthony? He knew what he was like. He said, Jadon Sancho, players like that who come to the club on £300,000 a week allegedly, and it cost what, 81 million, something like that, 80 million. Absolutely ridiculous for someone of his ability. He wasn't a great player at Dortmund. He's good at Dortmund, don't we know? He's very good. But that's too much to pay for him, I think they're in a terrible state.
He wasn't good at Dortmund, that's the thing. He just got a lot of hype, but he was the only times he ever actually did anything was when he came on as a late substitute. When he started, he was god awful, and you're just thinking, I don't know, if they'd actually watched him and scouted him properly, they'd have seen that he's shit. He's just up his own backside and doesn't train hard enough and doesn't work for the team and isn't very good, basically. Though he thinks he's some kind of superhero, he's just a bit of a knob, basically, and he always has been. This isn't like it's something new that nobody knew about. It was like that when he was when he was a kid at City. He was causing problems with his attitude. That's why they were happy to get rid of him. Right, so...
Yeah. Well, do you see them finishing first yourself next year?
I think the best they can hope for is to finish in the European places, but I can't see them doing any more than that. They definitely look to have taken a step forward, but it's not necessarily going to show him results on the pitch, right? Not yet.
No.
You know what I mean? It might take a couple of seasons before it shows.
I think so as well.
Going in the right direction, but it's going to
a long-term plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
What about you, Seamus? Where do you see them finishing?
I see us finishing outside Championship places, which is gonna cost Ten Hag his job, but probably there is a chance that we can backdoor the Champions League by winning Europa League, if that still exists. I don't know whether the new format allows the Europa League winners.
No, I don't.
I'm really confused by what's happening with the new European competition. The way the European competition changes. So what?
It's a money spinner, yeah. It's a money spinner.
It just seems this new group stage thing just seems a bit of a nonsensical thing. I don't get it at all.
I've not even tried to understand what it is. I'm just thinking we will know who is playing home and then.
Yeah, that's it. And just wait until you see the draw and see who you play and.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Anyway, should we jump on to Tottenham because we've missed them out?
Yeah.
Can't see them finishing any higher than 5th, to be honest. Again, I think it's the same again. They're in the same situation.
Yeah.
See any real progress made in terms of their signings?
Yeah, they seem to be actually Solanke, don't they? That looks that could be a goer. A lot of money to pay for Dominic Solanke, although he had a fantastic season last year, I must admit. And you liked him at Liverpool, didn't you, Trust, I think, Solanke?
No.
And I thought you were a fan of his, no?
No, liked him as a person. He works hard and that.
But right.
I don't think he's good enough. That's all. He has improved.
I think he improved. He's improved. Definitely improved for me.
But I still don't see him as a top end. I think I would go at the way Spurs play and the desperate need for an out-and-out striker. I think he's probably the option they've got is basically Solanke and Tony, and out of those two, Solanke's clearly head and shoulders above Tony with the attitude-wise, and he's a player who's going the right way rather than Tony's just disappearing up his own backside. Whereas Solanke's knuckled down and worked hard and improved his game. So, like, yeah, I take, I think he's a step in the right direction for Tottenham. But if you were, what I mean is, I wouldn't take him if I was looking at Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City level. I don't think he steps in. I don't think he makes their teams, but the step down.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
I can see him at Tottenham doing well, yeah, because they haven't replaced Harry Kane.
No, they haven't. No.
And obviously he's not Harry Kane level, but he's a better team player than Kane.
I thought Kane was a very good team player. Actually, I thought he created goals as well as scored them, and I think he's a great player. Kane, some people don't. I really rate him. I think he's a quality forward. Don't forget, go on.
No, I know what you're saying, and I don't disagree to a level. But like, the problem is, it does seem to be that a team focuses far too much on him. Rather, it's kind of like Gerrard at Liverpool, where he became, not because he was a bad player, not because he was a bad team player, not because he wasn't doing things for the team, but because he was so far ahead of the rest of the team around him, he dragged the team down because they were just playing to give him the ball rather than playing for the team. Even though he wasn't that far ahead of Son, and that's not fair. But it became Harry Kane and 10 others Tottenham because he was ahead before Son, and when he was a youth team player and that. And I just think that became a problem for them as a team rather than Harry Kane himself was the issue, if you see what I mean. It was the same with Gerrard at Liverpool. It was brilliant for Liverpool, but he dragged the ball back because everybody played to give the ball to him rather than playing for, at times when there was a better option.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be great for a team, great player without actually being helpful to a team. I know that sounds stupid, but I think you understand what I mean. Seamus probably does.
Yeah.
Because it'll go on.
Do you think Postecoglou is going to change tack this year rather than being
no way? No chance.
Do you think he's learned that you can't go gung-ho from the start in every game? No?
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
I like him. I like the guy. I've got to be honest with you. I really like him. But they were a bit gung-ho at times. Well, a lot gung-ho at times.
But isn't that why you like him? That is what makes him likable.
And his entire career, he's been criticised heavily for being gung-ho, and he stands by it, and he plays that way, and he generally takes his team to win trophies. The only place I can think of off the top of my head, I'm sure he probably did at some lesser clubs as well before, but the only team I can think of that he failed with was Australia, because they're not very good, rather than because he couldn't do it, you know what I mean? So I think he'll stand by what he knows, and he'll just keep trying to improve them. But his problem isn't. I don't think that's the big problem, really. The big problem they've got is that Daniel Levy's the chairman, and they're never going to invest with the quality that's needed to take them up a next level.
Yeah, I can see that.
To quote Mr. Mourinho, this is Mr. Levy club.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And they're far too happy just to beat Arsenal, stop Arsenal winning the league rather than winning the league themselves. They're far more interested in that, and that's always going to be a problem.
No, I'm just waiting for one of those epic runs from the Tottenham manager. Mourinho. Not just Postecoglou. Mourinho. The best one is still Conte, and then Postecoglou.
Yeah, he's bound to do it. He's got to get pissed off at some point and start doing it, isn't he?
Nah, I'm just waiting for that, because sometimes the Conte one pops up in my feed and it's like, that's gold.
That is gold. That is pure class. That is brilliant. And it will happen, because Levy will keep holding him back to the point he loses his temper. And he's a straight talker anyway, Postecoglou. So he's an
ambitious guy.
Oh yeah. like I said, he's a winner. He's won wherever he's gone, and he doesn't understand the attitude there.
He hates it when he played Man City and the supporters were cheering for Man City. It's so Arsenal wouldn't win the league.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. He does not get it. He wants to win, and that's all that matters to him. He does not get this attitude where you're happy to just beat your rivals. He doesn't get it, and I like him for that because I think that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
Though you as an Evertonian should know different, eh, Bill? You should think
it's
all about beating, stopping Liverpool from winning things.
Oh, it is.
Anyway, Chelsea. I know they finished sixth last season, but it was a miracle they finished there. I think it was more down to Newcastle, Man United, West Ham struggling so badly rather than them doing well, because they were so bad at the start of the season. And I've got to say, Maresca, I don't get it.
No, would you have kept all the other manager who just left them?
Pochettino.
Yeah, would you have kept him?
Well,
would you?
He would never have been anywhere near the job to begin with, for me, to be honest. But I think when he's doing, he'd finally got them starting to play football for him. You've got to.
It surprised me.
You can't sack him after that. If you'd sacked him in the first half of the season, I can understand it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah.
But not everyone's favourites are they, Chelsea, because more up to the off the field issues. But I've never known another team who said I'd like Chelsea to do well, or Chelsea have a good season, because they don't, because they're not a very liked club by the other clubs. I mean, no one's got a good word to say about the club. Maybe it's the way you treat the young players, buying all these players and all that, and then it's the Abramovich years and all that.
It doesn't help that their fan base tends to be the kind of people that have been busy rioting all week. The EDL. Yeah. I mean, most of them they've probably been Chelsea fans. So, that's the kind of person you expect to follow Chelsea. So, yeah, it doesn't help their cause to be a likeable club when you're followed by such hateful people in the main. I mean, you've seen the trouble they have everywhere they go. There's always every single game, every single time they play, there's always footage on social media floating around of their fans causing trouble through racist attacks and abuse. So yeah, so they're difficult to like. And then Abramovich cheated his, all these side payments and hidden backhanders, which is how come they've got such a good academy. That's one thing people seem to forget, is that they were paying all backhanders to bring in all these great kids from all over the place. Yeah, with under-the-counter payments and side payments and stuff. So, even that's not even fair.
And where do you see them, Tris? I think they've got a similar problem to what Man United have got for me, which is they've got a lot of players there who are on big money. They come with big titles, and the likes of Fernandes, is it, the midfielder, and players who are on massive wages, cost massive fees, and they haven't actually done justice to the fee or the wages, and they're stuck with them. And I think they're in a similar position to United, where they need to get rid of the philosophy of just buying for buying's sake. And I can't see them doing great this season. I'm thinking that they're going to be lucky to finish in the top 6, 7, maybe.
Did you see much of Maresca's Leicester last season?
No, I've seen bits of them, but I've never seen much of them, I'll be honest with you.
I would
seen them take a couple of arguments.
That they were a bit like Southgate's England, where they succeeded in spite of the manager rather than because of him.
Right, okay.
I think they're going to really struggle. They've got a bunch of kids there. I just don't think he's a very good manager. and I don't see them. I mean, unless he learns quickly, I can see them struggling badly. They've got a bunch of kids, no experience. They're gutting the players that actually want to play for the club are being removed, except players like James, who's always injured anyway. I mean, of all the players, of all the youth academy prospects, he's the one that you get rid of because he can't stay fit. Well, what's the point of keeping him? But they keep him on more than double the wage of everyone else.
And then to get rid of Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, and
to get rid of Conor Gallagher, the club man.
Chalobah was their best defender at the end of the season. He fought his way into the team, and then he stayed there by playing well. You know what I mean? He deserved his spot, and they're trying to get rid of him. I mean, it just makes no sense. You're hurting. You're not just damaging the team by removing better players. You're damaging the morale of the team by removing your better players, the ones that formed you, and you're also damaging your academy because players are looking. The kids coming through are looking at it and going, well. That's, even if I do perform really well and get in the team, it's the only thing they're going to look at. They're looking at me to sell me. They're not looking at me as in like I might have a future. It's not good for the club.
Where do you see them, Deeps? Where do you see them finishing, Chelsea?
I was hearing you guys talk about United and how. For lack of a better word, how negative you guys were towards the prospect for us. I have a similar concern about Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think if Chelsea finish top 6, top 7, then that in my opinion would be an overachievement for them. I think top 10 would be a good finish for them, a realistic finish for them, but with the amount of money and players that have been churned, you can't expect Maresca to still be in the job if they can't finish in European places. It's a confusing thing. If they had kept Pochettino, they would be justified for not having progress, but Chelsea have become such weird club to judge. It's just hard. I think it would. I think we would have to consider it as an overachievement if they finished in European football places. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, shall we move on to Newcastle then? They were not really. I don't know. They seem to be a bit stagnated at the moment, aren't they?
You just took the words out of my mouth. Stagnant was the word I was.
It tasted a bit funny.
Yeah, they've stalled. They've definitely stalled, and they haven't bought much this year, and I don't know. I'm still unsure about them. They had a massive rise in the last year and a half before last season, and everyone was saying that they're on the cusp of being a permanent top 4, and it hasn't worked out for them. And yeah, I think Gimenez, if the price was right, I think he'd go, and I think Anthony Gordon might be on his way, possibly to Liverpool, and I don't think they've got the strongest side. I like the manager, actually. I think he's done really well, Eddie Howe, with what he's got at his disposal. And I don't know just to buy him for Newcastle, but I think they need to buy players if they want to, carry on moving forward. Because, as you say, they've stalled at the moment. And I'd be very surprised if they threatened the top 4 this year. I think they've got players like, I don't think Trippier is good enough. I think he's at the on the downhill road. And I think they've got quite a few players there who maybe not up to playing against the better sides. So I think they might struggle a little bit this year.
To be fair, like you were saying about the recruitment and that, they did lose their recruitment specialist Dan Ashworth this summer to Man United.
Yeah. He's gone to United, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably, to be fair, that's probably caused a few problems for them. But I think Eddie Howe's now, it's only, he's got to be on his last chance. I can't see him seeing out. I think the best he can hope for is to see out the season and be replaced in the summer. But I think he's probably getting close to being sacked, to be honest.
Right.
In my opinion. What about you, Seamus? Think any different?
I think it's a big season for Newcastle, because if they don't so progress, then they might start losing their big ticket players.
Mm.
Yeah.
Who's to say Bruno or Isak or Botman aren't gonna get itchy feet if they still don't have European football next season?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can't see them sitting there for another season of mediocrity, can you?
No. I thought Isaac might have gone this year, to be honest with you. I thought Kamara's might have gone.
Yeah, I think they still have a decent chance that someone like a Manchester City comes in for Bruno, and then Newcastle can keep hold of him.
Mm. Yeah, I think Arsenal would love to sign Isak. But
they should go all out for him, because he'd be well suited for them, I think.
I think so too. But I think it's a case of them not being able to pry him away at the moment. But yeah, I agree. I think he'd be the idea. He's what they need. And if they had someone like Isak, I think you'd have to put them in with a chance of winning the league, rather than saying it's City's to lose. I think you'd start saying, well, actually, this is actually a fight, rather than just if City fail, Arsenal could nip in, like. But yeah. Okay, West Ham. Buying a lot of old men, when they've already got the oldest squad in the Premier League. I know they bought a few. I know you're going to say, James, they bought a few youngsters as well, but mostly they're buying players over 30 for some reason, which seems odd because he already had an old squad, and they need to rebuild it. They needed a lot of players as well, because they've got a very small squad. I just think they're a bit. They're not making the.
So I don't have this squad. I don't have this squad in front of me. I'm just going off the top of my head. But who is the right back?
Soufal. They've lost Johnson, so Soufal's got unquestionable now. They're trying to buy Kevin Walker, Kyle
Walker, or Aaron Wan-Bissaka, or Nusir Mazraoui, but yeah, they've been after a right back. Left back is Emerson Palmieri.
Yes, but he wants to go back to Italy, so.
Yeah.
I see a lot of churning of players for them. Maybe they can come in for Luke Shaw as well.
He's surprised. He's surprised no one's coming for Jared Bowen.
No, I'm not surprised. He's got a massive long contract.
Yeah, and he's.
He's tied down. I think he's tied down till 2030, Billy.
Oh, is he? He's a hell of a player, though, and I like him. I think he's a grafter as well. Yeah, and I like McCann as well. I think he could be in a better side. McCann, I think he's a Newcastle player for me. McCann, I think he's a grafter as well, and I think he's got a bit about him.
McCann.
So, yeah, I like him. I really like McCann.
Who's McCann?
The midfielder. Oh, is he play for Villa? Sorry. Is he for Villa? Sorry. I might think of John McCann. I'm getting mixed up.
No,
McGinn, is it McGinn?
No,
McGinn.
I was just going to say, Billy's talking about the Scottish fella for Villa.
Oh,
yeah, McGinn. I'm getting mixed up. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up with him.
Yeah, McGinn.
Villa. Yeah, no.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
Everyone is claret and blue.
I'm so confused.
anyone Claret Blue who plays for the West Ham as well as I'm concerned. I think they've got a few good players, but I think they're a bit meh. You know what I mean? I don't think they're ever going to be a top side, but they're never going to get relegated. I think they're just a run-of-the-mill side, and are always going to be there.
They had the chance to, but they completely, they kept throwing away their chances to build on, because they've got that huge stadium that's costing them virtually nothing to run, so they're making a bigger turnover from it than equivalent clubs.
Yeah, they got it for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they've got a big advantage with that, but they just failed to make the most of it. And I think now they're starting to, they've lost that advantage because there's too many clubs up there now that have pushed ahead of them while they failed to progress. Having managers like Pellegrini and Moyes twice. I mean, Moyes is all right to go to reach the level they're at, mid-table mediocrity, but when you want someone to take you on a step further, it's not David Moyes. And I don't see it either. I don't see him as being any... I don't see him as the next step either. It's just, I don't...
No, it's hard for them, I think. There's some good teams down there in London, and they're never going to be the big boys, you know what I mean? Like they were in the 60s, or... But, they're a nothing side for me, West Ham. They're never going to go any further than what they are now. They'll take points off people here and there, and they'll get beat by a lower team. But they're not a side who you can rely on to, for the supporters to say, we're going to do something this year. I know they won the Europa last year, last, but conference, yeah. But, I don't think they're going anywhere as a club at the moment, and I can't see that changing, to be honest with you.
Okay, Crystal Palace. I like Glasner. I've got to say, I've been very impressed with him. I think he's been impressive there. But whether he can take, they're always going to be fighting to stay where they are rather than to progress, because they just don't have the funds to invest. To build on any success they have is going to be fleeting, because they'll lose their best players as soon. And I'm not the biggest fan of Elise, but when you're at the level of Crystal Palace,
he had a good back end to the season last year, though, didn't he? He played some good stuff as well and got some great results against some of the bigger sides. So they're very much in the West Ham scenario to me. They're not going to go. I don't think they're going to go down. I don't think they're going to go any higher than what they have. But, they're a decent outfit. I think they're a decent outfit.
What do you think, Seamus?
I'm expecting a good season from them. I think they might surprise a few and maybe sneak into the European football places. Because...
Oh, nice, okay.
Yeah, because I think it's possible that Villa and Newcastle don't do as well as they did last season. Maybe Chelsea slip up from where they were last season.
Point. Yeah.
And I think it's not completely out of the realms of possibility that Crystal Palace carry on from the momentum they had last season at the back end of last season, and who knows, maybe finish 6th, 7th, somewhere around that, and get into.
I think you're aiming too high for myself. Like I'm thinking between 10th and 14th myself. Like I'll be honest with you.
No,
they've lost a couple of good players as well. So
I'll be honest, Billy. If I'm the Crystal Palace owner and I finish somewhere like 12th, 13th again, then I'd be a bit disappointed.
I'm with you on that, Seamus. I think they've got a top half. They should be able to. Should be looking to.
But then who knows? Maybe they start losing players, because there's already talk of Gehi going. Olise is already out. Eze has some form of interest from Spurs and City. So let's see how the window ends for them. But for now, I'd hope if I was a supporter, I'd hope for a very good season, at least top 8.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Brighton look like they've got rid of De Zerbi, so they've made a step in the right direction.
No, I think Brighton have hit a glass ceiling now. It's a they just have lost. They seem to have lost that gloss about them. That something that when they were signing players from different places and turning them into. But it's just the process seems to have slowed down a bit. Now they sign players for higher prices, but players who also have less upside.
Yeah, they seem to have forgotten what made them successful. But I don't think it helped having all the De Zerbi last season. I think that was a huge part of their problem. So it depends on the new guy whose name has completely escaped him. Sam Pauli manager, wasn't he, last season? He got them promoted.
Yeah, Sam Pauli. Florian Hursler.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, him. I think he's definitely an improvement on De Zerbi, but has he got the tools to do much? I can't see it. Their mid-table mediocrity is where they are, I think. Maybe even lower.
It's far beyond.
Well, I think a little bit higher. I think they'll be a little bit better this year with the new manager, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think they've still got some really good players there. I'm expecting them to do a little bit better than they did last year. I'm going for them to finish somewhere 12th, 13th, 14th, somewhere up there. So.
She said better when they finished. Didn't they finish 11th last season?
Yeah, 12th, 13th, 14th, yeah.
So
a little bit better than last year.
But they finished 11th last season, and you're saying doing a bit better, but you
sorry.
12th, 13th.
Oh, I thought sorry, I thought they finished a lot lower than that. I thought they finished a lot lower than that.
I'm pretty sure
I put them. Oh, did they? Okay. Okay, yeah, but I think they've still got some good players, and if the new manager hits the ground running, I think they'll have a decent season.
Okay. Bournemouth. I've seen Iraola as one of the favourites to get sacked. I can't see that at all. I think he's taken them in the right direction, to be honest, if anything now. Then they're starting to get they started to get the hang of his system as the season went on, and they look better and better. I think they should be looking up, not down myself. They should be looking to push into the top half, if anything. Especially
and they're going to have a good second half into the season, and but I think if they lost Solanke, it'd be a massive blow for them. He scored most of their goals last year, and I think they're an alright club, a decent club. You know what I mean? I don't think they're going to be involved in relegation, but I think if they do lose Solanke, it's going to be a massive loss to them. Whether they can replace him or what he can do without him, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the recruitment that will come into play, and I don't know how. I don't know who they've replaced Hughes with, but I can't see him being any worse than Hughes. To be honest, I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand how he's ended up at Liverpool, because I don't see anything in what he's done in his career to suggest that he's actually any good at the job. To be honest, and I think they're better off without him, and that should help them be able to recruit better in the future. So long term, they should be looking upwards, not downwards.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and I like Iraola. I think he's doing a good job there now. He started to really get them firing and playing his way. But yeah, I mean they could lose him. That's the thing, right? Well, he's one of the favourites to be sacked. I mean, what happens if somebody having a bad season comes in from Spain? You know, a bigger club in Spain comes in for him.
Yeah.
You know, if he's doing well, I can see him being taken from them. So, what do you think?
See, we're making predictions, aren't we? And you never know what happens during the season. You lose a manager, you lose a good player. You know, they are all just guesses, aren't they? They're just opinions. But, you know, things can change in football so quickly. You can be a decent side, you can go downhill. You can be an average side and get a bit of a boost. So they are all just guesses.
Yeah, I mean, one injury can change an entire season. You know,
Absolutely, if it's your best
right
player, yeah.
or wrong player gets injured. I mean,
Yeah,
I should say wrong player.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
right player doesn't make sense. If it's the wrong player that gets injured, I mean, look at Wolves. They never recovered from Morelos getting injured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it can completely destroy not just a season, but a lot longer if you can't replace the player. You know, and they never recover
Absolutely.
properly. Yeah. What do you think
Yeah.
of Bournemouth though, Seamus? You haven't had your input.
I think you'd hope for them. If you're a supporter, you'd hope for them to finish in the top half. That would be a progress from where they were last season. But then again, they are running the risk of losing Dominic Solanke. So how will they cope with that? Because he was the talisman last season, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did pull them out of it when they needed him. Did pull a goal out of it
Mm.
usually.
Yeah.
But you know,
Okay.
the question is that down to Dominic Solanke or is that down to the way they were playing that the striker was in the positions he was? If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he's never shown that kind of aptitude before last season. So a lot of that did
Mhm.
come from Iriola, the way he played.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
say. He definitely improved Solanke. Took him on a level, so yeah, maybe you can do that for the next player. That's what you're hoping if you're a Bournemouth fan, anyway. Yeah, so we move on to Fulham then.
Yeah, done really well last season. Thought the manager done really well. They're very, played some nice stuff. They just, who they signed now? Smith Rowe, who they signed? Smith Rowe, was it? They signed.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he'll make a difference to them. I think they're going to have a good season. I'm expecting pretty decent things from Fulham this year.
Yeah, I still don't think Silver. I still think he's done well for them so far, but I think it's still waiting for. I'm always waiting with the Silver side for their, his inability to organise a defence to catch up with them.
Yeah, they haven't got Everton now yet.
Yeah, and once that goes, once they get a run of, because they're a team that on their day can beat most teams, but they can also be terrible and get absolutely slaughtered as well on their, on another day. You never know what you're going to get with them, and it only takes a couple of bad results in a row for the confidence to drop it, and then it becomes 3 bad results and then 4 bad results, and then slip into a relegation battle quite easily. Or they could end up top half and challenging for Europe. You just don't know with Fulham. That's the thing. And
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
as well. You just don't know what you're going to get.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah, it's a lucky bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, because lucky bags, you're going to get shite, but and you're going to have paid through the fucking nose for it. But the kids love it, so you can't do anything else, can you? But get it.
You don't know what a lucky bag is,
Do you get lucky bags in Nepal, Seamus?
I don't know what you guys are talking about, so.
Oh no! When you
No.
take your kids they're like a bag and they're meant to have sweet toys and usually like a comic or something and stickers and stuff like that. And it's just a bit of a potluck. You never know what you're gonna get. Basically, you never know what sweets, you never know what toys and that. But what you can guarantee is there'll always be absolute shite, and you'll have paid a fortune for it. They're really expensive. But they just. I don't know why they're called lucky bags, because nobody ever gets lucky in them, do they? Because I mean, you may as well buy a Christmas cracker. That's what you're getting, basically, aren't you? Christmas cracker toys. Shit. God. What do you think of
Fulham?
I think Fulham lack quality. I was surprised they were so far away from relegation battle last season.
All right, I thought he played well all
No,
season.
no, but yeah, that is my point. I didn't think they had it in them to play well enough to never even be in with a chance of relegation.
No, I agree with that. I was surprised, but I thought, all credit to them. I thought he done really well last season. Had a very good season.
Yeah, but they've lost a vital player in Joao Paulina, so I
Yeah, that's
think.
true.
Right.
I'd forgotten about
And
that.
have they replaced him? No, I don't think they've replaced him, have they?
I thought that Aaron Ayton
Really
had been
good
replaced.
point. Really good point, that one, Seamus. I'd completely forgotten about that. That could be a huge problem.
And they were already lucky to have gotten him in the first place.
Yeah, it was a coup of epic proportions to get Paulinho at that level.
Yeah, and especially when his move to Wolves was looking very realistic.
Mm.
He was getting interest from Man United and ended up joining Fulham, so it was a good coup for them. Overall, a very good match.
He moved up a notch then.
Yeah, he
No,
chose the
but,
best
yeah,
team.
but it's still like without poking fun at United, it was a very good move for Fulham as well because they did well when he was with them, and then they got their money's worth when they sold
Yeah,
him.
they got big money for him, yeah.
Yeah, but now it's time to replace him, and let's see how it goes. They also lost Tosin Adarabioyo, and I don't know how much he played,
Oh
but
yeah.
still, he was a decent player for them.
He'd become one of their mainstays. Him and Bassi have become their central defensive partnership, hadn't they?
So it's a big season for them. One or two bad luck, maybe the wrong kind of injuries, and they might be staring down the barrel of relegation.
I'd forgotten about Paulinho. That does make a huge difference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I forgot about him as well.
Yeah, I'd see
Because at least till now that guy Rodrigo Muniz is a 10 game, 15 game hit. We can't like rely on him to get them out of relegation. If he does, congratulations. But if he doesn't, then
Yeah, that's no surprise. I think you've got to say now you've reminded me they've lost Adebayo and Paulinho. I think I'm revising my expectations of the best they could do isn't top half. It's now I think the best they could do is repeat their 13th place finish, but they could easily end up in a relegation battle.
Yeah, but if they avoid relegation and Silva avoids getting the sack, then that's good for him.
Yeah.
And I'm not having a go at Silva. I'm just saying when teams are threatened with relegation, managers get the axe.
Yeah, especially when they spend a lot of money. I mean, Paulinho wasn't on a small wage. That's why he chose Fulham, to be honest. So, yeah.
I've been quite surprised with how low-key Fulham have been since the promotion this time around. They've not thrown money everywhere.
Yeah, last time they made
almost. Yeah, they've almost been. Yeah, but they've almost been too frugal now.
Yeah, I think the Sun's learnt the lesson though, hasn't he, Khan's son, who's in charge.
I think he might just be too busy with the wrestling company.
Possibly. Yeah, that's a fair point. Might just be too busy. Yeah. Anyway, Wolves next. I think they've had a good recruitment.
Yeah.
Summer. They should be looking up the table and looking for a top half finish this season.
Well, they merited a top half finish last season, but for the freaking referees.
Yeah, true. Yeah. But they look to have improved, don't they? This summer.
They're good side. They surprised me last year. I thought they were going to be in the relegation battles, to be honest with you. And turns out without the, as you say, the VAR and the referees, they'd have finished a bit higher. And I thought they had a very good season. Played some really nice stuff. I'm really a big fan of the manager as well. Kept them involved, and I thought they were a really good side last year.
Yeah, Gary O'Neill did an excellent job. It's okay. They had a few troubles with the referees, but they were never in doubt of, in danger of relegation, or felt like they were, really.
No.
So, yeah, and that's about as much as you can hope for when after the summer they'd had, a turmoil and selling everyone.
Yeah. I was impressed by them, most of it.
I think they've got to look to push on to the top half this summer, though. This season, I mean, haven't they?
Yeah, and I think they will.
Seamus? Or is he falling asleep?
He's falling asleep.
He's old people, that's what it is. Oh no, he said he'd be back in 2 minutes. That was probably 20 minutes.
Alright, okay.
He's too old. The bladder's gone, that's what it is. Cause he can't... See, if he was young like us, Bill, he'd be fine, wouldn't he? Well,
absolutely.
Well, I think this one is over to you next now, Bill. Everton,
yeah. Do you know what? I'm happy with the recruitment we're doing at the moment, which is not massive players on massive salaries for massive fees. Decent, hard-working, pretty good footballers that they're hoping to improve, hopefully. And I like the bit of business that you've done up to now. They're not world beaters, but they look like good pros. They look like good buys. And I still think, unless we get this ownership issue out the way, we could be starting with a 9 points deduction. If you got till September, the end of September, to get it sorted. And hopefully we will. I think Friedkin, his group is going to come back in. I did say at the time it might have been temporary, them coming out of it. So, and there's another couple of buyers interested. So hopefully to get that out the way, because it's a massive season for Everton this year. To get to Bramley-Moore Dock intact is going to be absolutely massive for the club.
And very much so.
And yeah, spent 900 million euro just on at the end of the day, it's going to be close to $1 billion that they've gone into, that they've got some fines, that they've had some fines for the stadium. And it's a massive season. And to be honest with you, we could do without any hiccups like PSR and it going into administration. But I think if to get away from the financial point, I think the team has got a chance to do okay. I don't think we're going to get up towards the fringes of the European places, but I'm hoping that we'll be mid-table mediocrity and move on from there. I think we've still got some decent players. I know we've lost Onana. We could lose Jared Brantwaite, but I'm not sure. I think it'd be a great buy for Liverpool, but let's hope that doesn't happen. And I think
for Liverpool.
He is, and I think if we lose Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that'll be a massive blow. I know we brought in Ndiaye, we brought him in, and we're looking to add, maybe getting Brozier. We've made a bid for Brozier that hasn't been accepted by Chelsea yet. And, we are looking for more recruitment. How? I don't know, because I don't know the way the money situation goes. I know we got 50 million off of Onana, which paid for quite a lot of the guys we've got in at the moment. And I'm hoping that we do get mid-table mediocrity next year, just have a decent thing and move on. Get to Bramley-Moore and build from there. That's what I'm hoping for Everton this year.
Okay. Yeah, I can see you doing okay this season. Even with the 9 point, I can't see you being in a relegation battle. Like I said last year, I just think there's too many teams that are worse than you, and I don't think you're in that much trouble. So, what do you think, Seamus?
Oh, if you're Everton, you just have to wish you avoid administration, you avoid points deduction, and you avoid relegation. But most importantly, if you avoid relegation and you start sorting your financials out, then you should be happy as an Evertonian.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a step forward because you're in a new stadium the following season, and you can build from there. Then.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But I don't think you were saying DCL's a worry if he goes. I don't see that at all. I don't see that. I don't think he doesn't score enough goals, and he's holding you back if anything. Even when he is fit. So,
No, I think
he's on form.
I think the concern.
Good, but
I think the concern should be more about getting a replacement in, not that we lost him.
Yeah.
It's more about
I can see that.
Can we get the right player in?
Yeah, as I say, we're after Broja. There's another lad that we're after.
Broja, because he seems to get injured as well.
Oh yeah, he's not. He wouldn't.
Yeah, I know. But without a focal point, I think Everton lose a lot of the threat. You know, say what you like about DCL, and he can be an absolute pain in the arse at times, and he does get injured a lot, but he's a great target man, and when he's on form, he's absolute damn good player, you know. And he mightn't score many, but he creates quite a lot because he's so good in the air. He's a very good hold-up player, but he doesn't play often enough, and that's because of injury. And I see what you're saying, but he's vital to Everton to have an attacking threat because there's not much there. I haven't seen the new players yet that, play, and they might be a bit more of a threat, but without a focal point, Everton are a bit of a toothless tiger, and that's why I think it's an important if we do lose him, we replace him. We don't want to leave it till the end of the window, and then Newcastle come in and say, because he's in the last year of the contract, we'll give you 18 million, and he goes and leaves us with nothing. That'd be a disaster for us.
Whereas I don't think it would be. I think you'd find one of the others that'd step up and be just as effective as him over the season because he'd actually play more of the games. I think I'd be far more worried about losing Branthwaite, who I don't think's good enough to step up to Liverpool at all. He's nowhere near the level of Van Dijk, or I don't think he's as good as Kwanzaa even. He's just not good enough on the ball, and he's lacks any kind of acceleration. He hasn't got a burst of pace. The acceleration. He's not quick enough on the turn. He's fine playing a deep line, playing the Everton way, where under Dyche, where they're deep and defending deep. I think he's great. Yeah, fantastic. But you have him step up and play a high line. Nah, he's totally out. It's not his game at all. He's not quick on the turn. He's not good enough on the ball. That's it. Simple as that. He's perfect for what you play, not for what Liverpool play or Arsenal or Man City, Chelsea. He's just not right for that kind of game. For Everton, brilliant, fine, yeah. But step up, no, I don't see it at all. He's just hasn't. He's just when you watch him on the ball, he's panicky, nervous. He's not got the.
I think he plays it out okay. I think he's alright.
No, I
think he's well alright.
And his turn, he's sluggish. He doesn't have, he's not got acceleration. No, he's not for me. I think he's where he needs to be. I think he should stay put.
Okay.
And I want
him to stay put, obviously.
Yeah, but if you did lose him, I don't see a replacement in your squad, and I don't see anyone you could bring in.
Well, we've got O'Neill there, we just brought in, who looks a half-decent player. He looks okay.
He's more
as you say,
Tarkowski than a replacement for Branthwaite, though, isn't he?
I'd say.
good
Yeah.
partner for Branthwaite, I would say, not a replacement for him.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
For me, anyway, that's how I'd look on it. But, obviously, you watch a lot more of him, so, you might know better, it's just my opinion of him. I just don't see him as being
It's all about opinions.
the level
I think he's
he's at.
I think he's a great talent, a precocious talent, and I think he's going to end up in England squad. To be honest with you, I think he's one of the best up-and-coming centre halves that we've got in the country. I really do.
Oh, I think he should have been in the last England squad, but that's not the point, because that's just because there's not that many good defenders in England. I mean, Kwanzaa should have walked into it. That's the thing. I mean, when you've got some of the ones that were in there, shouldn't have been in it. Guai, I mean, I know he had a good tournament, but he should never have been picked in the first place because he hadn't played more than like 3 games.
Luke Shaw, how did he get in the side? But
Exactly.
that's another point. That's another point.
But Branthwaite will walk in the England squad because there's not much opposition, to be fair. But like, you play him at Everton, he'll be brilliant. You play him at Liverpool, and I think he'd struggle. It's just not. It's a completely different game. It's like playing international football and club football. It's just a different game,
I think he could step up. But that's just my opinion of him, you know what I mean?
I'd like to see him try, but until you actually see him do it, you just can't see. Because Everton don't play a passing game at the back. He doesn't have to play the ball around at the back. So, it is only, you're not actually got any real evidence to base on whether he can do it or not, other than just it's an opinion, isn't it? On what.
Yeah, it is an opinion.
But I mean, I think
he's a good footballer. I think he's a good footballer, actually.
Is what I was trying to say. Guesswork, not opinion, is the word
I'm
trying to say. Because you're not actually got any real evidence to base it on. You've not got years of watching him play that way, because he hasn't played that way. So it's until he does it, we won't actually know. But yeah,
okay.
My opinion is I don't see it from them. But
okay.
So, Seamus.
Who's next?
Where do you think?
Oh, sorry, it's got Seamus.
No, I didn't. I already say just avoid relegation at all costs to Everton.
But you think that's where what they'll do?
I think it's a realistic target for them.
Okay. Brentford next then.
Not my favourite side, to be honest with you. I was picking up Ivan Toney this time last year, and do you know what? He's turned into a bit of an arsehole, as far as I'm concerned. I know he had the gambling issue, and he's been given his chance. He's back in the side, but he comes across as though he's got an attitude now. I don't know what it is about him. I think he's a talented lad, a really talented lad, but I think he's got issues, and I'm not a big fan of the Brentford philosophy. I think they fall over too much. I think I like Thomas Frank as a person, but as a manager, he comes really across a nice bit, but I don't like his tactics, spoiling tactics. They're not the greatest team to watch. They're a bit bullyish, and I've gone off Brentford. I've changed my mind on Brentford after last year. I thought they were a bit of a nasty piece of work, yeah, possibly on our outside of the sea, haven't you? But I've gone off them as a club. I was all for them coming up and doing well, and looking forward to it. But I think they're a bit of a nasty little snidey club. But that's just my opinion, I suppose.
They've definitely lost that bit of fun about them. Watching them at first, when they first came up, they were fun to watch. But
yeah,
they seem to have lost that now. It's all about just spoiling. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they're not a likable team anymore because of the way they play football. They don't even have like Luton. They kick anything that moved, and but you still, you rooted for them because they were giving everything. Brentford, it just feels like most of them think they're just there marking time till they get a big move now. Really, You know, they think they're a bit
Yeah.
too good for Brentford. A lot of the players like Tony and that.
I've just got up for a bit, you know what I mean? It might just be me, but they don't fill me with what they did when they first come up, which was, you know, a bit of hope, yeah, and someone new, something a bit different, you know. But now they're just a bunch of thugs, really. That's all I can say about them. What do you think keeps something with Brentford?
Brentford seem to have just gone back a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just lost their the spark and their aura about them.
Yeah, they definitely regressed.
I think they run the risk of repeating what happened last season with them, but this time maybe a bit sooner, and then who knows what happens when we get dragged into relegation battle, if that were to happen.
I could actually see them being the one from the the one team that's a regular Premier League team that ends up losing their place. I can really see that happening. Of all of them, they're the ones that I'd fear for most of them longer term fixes in the Premier League. And Forrester, and I think Forrest have been a bit wiser this season recruiting, and so they'll probably, I think they'll probably be okay. But I think Brentford are the ones I fear for, truly fear for, out of the teams I can.
They were lucky last year, to be honest with you. They got a couple of good results at the very end, but they were right in the mix at one point last year.
Yeah, I can't see anything changing. What about you, Seamus? Can you see them going down?
I think it's a real possibility for them.
I hope so.
Because surely it's not gonna be all three promoted sides going down again.
No, I think they're the ones for myself.
No, there's another team that is a bit of a samples as well. Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, but they've recruited better this summer. They've been a bit cleverer. They've still lack a top class keeper, obviously, but they've not gone out and just bought this summer. So that might help them. But yeah, the thing is, it's Nuno Espirito Santo. I just don't rate him as a manager. I know he did good things with Wolves when he first came up, but his style of play is so boring. They're so defensive minded. I can see what you're saying, actually, Seamus. I can see them. Yeah, no, the more I think about it, the more I can see them being a possibility. Though I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know, the more you think about it, the more you see them struggling as well, actually. Yeah. I think might be a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, Billy? Forest safe?
I think Forest are always going to be in the mix, you know, for the next foreseeable future. They're a funny club, aren't they? They recruit all these players, then they get rid of them and recruit another load. And I don't know what it's like for a manager to, you know, be dealt. It was their manager. It was Espirito Santo took over from.
Steve Cooper.
Yeah, I thought he'd done all right, to be honest with you. He was a very likeable guy. The supporters loved him, by the way, and you know he was doing the best he could with what the hand he was dealt. But at least he had a bit of charisma, and they all knew he was doing his total best for the club. And I'm not saying that's Espirito Santo, but he fitted the club better than what Espirito Santo is for me. I think he's a bit of a mercenary type manager, and they're always going to be involved for me in relegation for the foreseeable future. You know, they're not going to be higher. They've got to aim for 17th every year for me.
Okay, so we all think they're in trouble then. Might survive, but like they're certainly going to be in the relegation battle then.
I think so.
Yeah, Yeah, I do think they've improved their recruitment this summer, but yeah, the more you think about it, the more you can't see it being enough because of Nuno. I think is going to be a problem. Anyway, so Leicester, they've got Steve Cooper in charge, obviously, but
Yeah.
well, they're definitely going to. I mean, it'd be a shock if they weren't in a relegation battle because they just lack quality.
Yeah. You always get one of the clubs though, don't you, making a bit of a fist of it, and you know, I know it never last year because the three of them went down and come up, but you sometimes get a team that just click and get a few good results, and you know, I don't think it'll be Leicester, and to be honest with you, with the history, I'm not a big fan of the club, and if they went down, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
Oh, I'd be glad if they went down because they've cheated again. They've
Yeah,
totally ignored
yeah,
FFP. How the fuck are they not getting punished? Everton and Forest get top points. Yet Leicester City, not only did the last time they did it, they ended up winning the league a couple of seasons later after completely ignoring FFP rules, and now they've done it a bloody again, and they're still not getting punished. I mean, it's really frustrating. I'm sorry, how can you just keep ignoring the rules when everyone else has to abide by them and others getting punished? I mean, it's just not fair, is it?
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
No, I hope they go down, and I hope they go down miserably. I really do because I just don't. I just don't like that they feel they can ignore the rules when they feel like it. It's just, why should they be able to? Nobody else can. Oh, other than Man City, obviously, and
Chelsea.
Chelsea, and yeah. But like other than that, it's just and I think more should be made of the fact that they've totally ignored FFP ruling again to do what they wanted anyway. I think that they shouldn't just be allowed to go unsaid every time. People just seem to forget about it. They've cheated. It should be pointed out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What do you think, Seamus? Leicester? Safe?
I think it goes for all the promoted sides, but if you avoid relegation and get one more season in the Premier League, then it's a job well done from everyone.
Yeah. Do you think they will, though?
I think on paper, Leicester probably have the best playing squad for survival. Yeah, because Ipswich might be a better team. I don't know, but on paper they don't have a better quality of squad.
I'd agree with that.
And Southampton also, they're a much less as well when you compare them to Leicester.
I think that's what I disagree. I think Southampton have got a better squad. Their issue is they've got Russell Martin as manager.
But I also don't see where the goals come for Southampton at all. Yeah. And I know Leicester don't have great attackers, but at least they have Vardy, who has done previously. He's getting on. He's probably not gonna get too many, but still.
At best, Vardy's gonna be a late sub, though, isn't he?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't think he played much this year.
He looks done. He looked done last season. Every time I watched him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I'm not saying like Leicester have a good quality squad and they should be battling for top half or anything, but maybe it's an indication of how poor the Champions League has gotten because running through the squad, Leicester don't have a great squad. It seems to me. Southampton don't have quality oozing, and Ipswich are more of a team and less of a great individual quality.
Yeah, I think all three of them are pretty much of a muchness. It's just which one gets off to a good start will make all the difference as to whether they survive for me. Gets the right.
Yeah.
Can use build on the momentum from promotion. If not, they could easily just be as easily be like last season where all three of them go down and never really make a real fist of it.
Yeah, possibly.
That would be bummer if it happened 2 seasons in a row.
Mm,
That would really make it a pointless system.
yeah, but I think I can see someone like Brentford or Forest. I think, or even Fulham could easily end up going down.
No, I can see like the teams you mentioned getting into trouble. The thing is, I can't see le- like I can't sit here and say like Leicester or Southampton or Ipswich are gonna pull away.
No, that's the thing. But then when
And
Sheffield United
they have
came up,
individual quality. Brentford, even Brentford, Nottingham Forest, or Fulham, or Everton, they have one or two players who can like score a goal from nowhere. Or
yeah, but when
in
Sheffield
the next.
United came up, they looked like a team that you looked at and thought they've got a hope in hell. But still, somehow they not
Yeah,
only made a
somehow they
fist of
got
it,
through.
they ended up in Europe, didn't they?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, just if you can keep the momentum going from your promotion season, that's the important thing. Last season, none of the three managed to do that, and while Luton managed to make at least some sort of go of it by turning it around and finally getting themselves up and running towards the end of the season, it just took too long. You need to be you need to be pushing the teams above you all the way through the season to have any chance of survival. If you're one of these bottom three teams, which I think,
And also, it's like we say like, oh, Luton made a feast of it, or they were running close or what. But we have to remember, it took Everton getting deducted. What was
mm,
it eventually? 8 points, and Nottingham Forest getting what 4 points
6.
deducted,
Yeah.
or something like that, to make it even like somewhat of a threat of
yeah,
relegation.
yeah. So say they were
Yeah,
they just didn't
even with those
get
handicaps,
going.
the relegation battle was pretty much sewn up before the last 2 games.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Luton didn't manage to keep the momentum going. They took a while to get going, and then they had a good run. But by that point, it's too late. They've already, they've fallen too far
Yeah.
behind, and so yeah, they at least made it interesting, but they were never really gonna do it because they
No.
just didn't have the quality, and they'd left it to, they lost that momentum when they needed it. And I can see that being a problem for Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich as well. I think if I had to, you'd have to say a bit like Sheffield United and Luton last season. Ipswich are the one that I'd fancy to stand the best chance of upsetting teams and being a surprise package, simply because they're a
I'm
team
with you there, yeah.
rather than
Yeah, I'm
squad,
with
like
you
you
there.
said, Seamus.
Yeah. Right, boys, I've had enough. I'm going for my tea. I am absolutely thank Marvin.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really need to go and have something to eat. I'm going to pass out in a minute. Thanks very much, boys, and I will see you next Thursday.
Okay, see you next Thursday, unless the kids are busy changing your nappies again.
Yeah.
Last
Let's hope they don't come down again. Okay, thanks, boys. Thanks, Chris. Thanks,
Bye, mate.
Dave. Ta-ra, boys. Ta-ra.
It depends on whether his missus is out and she has to get the kids into babysit him or not, doesn't it? As to whether they'll be there.
Yeah, like, who knows? Maybe he's gonna get settled with the great grandkids again,
Yeah. Well, it
or is
can't be the
it great
grandkids.
great
Do
grand?
you know, I was just figuring it. I was just saying to him earlier. I've just realised you're his adopted grandson.
Me?
Yeah. Well, Baz is his adopted son, right? And Bazza adopted you as his son. Hence
Oh
why.
yes, right.
So you're
We
his
forgot.
adopted
Yeah.
grandson. I was thinking, I'd never even twigged on until this morning. And it just suddenly came into my head. Because I was thinking I'll have to ask. I was going to try and ask Bazza, and I forgot to message him in the end, try and get him on. And it just suddenly popped into my head. Hang on, you're his grandson, basically. So, poor bugger. No wonder he's given up the will to live, is it really? You know. As if his life isn't bad enough being an Everton fan. You and Baz are his son and grandson. Oh my god, the poor bugger. I feel sorry for him. Anyway, sorry, we should call it there, shouldn't we? Because we're just jabbering on and we're not even talking about football at all now. So apologies for that if anybody's actually listened this far. Sorry for losing the thread of the conversation completely, as we always seem to do. So we'll see you next Thursday. I was waiting for you to say that as
See you
well,
next
Seamus.
Thursday.
Half an hour late. Fucking hell.